He'll never fucking die. That's part of the chorus. I'm not making that up. Anyway, so what we're doing is we are starting a Halloween fort. Yes, words to live by. So back when I interviewed Tarn on the 1st of October, I generated a 1,000-year-old world. 1,050-year-old world. That's large. It took like 4 hours to generate and happened to give us a really interesting looking landmass. So we are going to go into these histories of jealousy and enterprise and start a brand new Halloween fort, which I will finish before the end of the month of October to kind of split up the normal way of things, I guess. And cheers, Loberin. I'm not super active with the Living with Type 1 podcast these days because kind of ran out of stuff to talk about, but I do occasional. It's more like just an audio blog for me. And the first one, we try and get episodes up at least once a month, but schedules are a hard thing to deal with sometimes. But yeah, so that's kind of what we're trying to do with this fort, is just do something short to break up Long Death and give me something else to focus on for a little bit to keep the inspiration going, to keep that fort alive for 1,000 years, because realistically, Long Death is like 8.1% done or something. So actually, I can tell you how far done that fort is. How far done is, yeah, 8.3. 8.3%, no, 8.2% done. So we are pretty far offs on that one. You lost shortly after the lyrics started? Why? Because you started giggling? That's usually the reaction to people, that people have to that. So yeah, like I said, when I started off Long Death is we're going to break it up with other forts in the middle. Themed forts, seasonal forts, that sort of stuff. I want to do a Christmas fort as well. That's something that we'll do after. But you know, it's the season of the spooks. My logo is a skull. I like horror and spooky things. I just rewatched Tremors the other day, the original Tremors. That movie holds up. Movie's still good. I'm gonna do Alien sometime this week. Watch a couple Friday the 13th as well. Maybe a few zombie flicks. I love that shit. That shit's good. But we did one round of Legends of this world. We found some interesting stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on because it's long history. So we're just gonna dive in. It very much is, yeah. I was surprised. I haven't watched that movie in a long time, and I'm surprised it held up as well as it did. But yeah, this is gonna be a fun one. First of Granite, 1050. Frame rate's probably gonna be rough on it though, because it is a large world. A lot of shit to process. So I have no idea what's gonna happen. I want to keep this fort alive for. Oh, did I not put a? Whoopsies. I forgot to post on Discord. Sorry, Ghost. But here we go. So this is a look at what the world looks like. There's kind of a lot of it. But the reason I think this world is super neat is because it's one giant continent. And I don't believe I've ever seen one single continent spawn like this before. So this is really interesting. Like, yeah, there's a few sporadic small islands, and there's kind of like this little continent that's behind my camera down here by itself. But most everything is one giant continent. Yeah, this took like 5 hours to generate. I normally do very small worlds. So it's, for special occasions, I like to do these big ones. Brander, buddy, what up? Yeah, you can have one fortress or adventurer active at any time. But there was one or two areas in particular that caught my eye. This area up here and kind of this red spot, but also this area down here. Now let's zoom in a little bit so we can actually see what we're looking at here. Now this area is kind of neat because we got all these haunted stuffs. We got all of these evil stuffs, but we also got like haunted mountains and stuff. And like 50-50 haunted mountains and fun stuff there. So that's one of the areas that we can look at. But the other area that we can look at is kind of up here and also pretty spooky, where we have like this kind of cluster of towers, a few abandoned dwarven forts that are all just like destroyed, surrounded by monasteries. Like, look at all of these dead dwarven forts around here. There's so many of them. So we got kind of lots of space to choose from. Also, like, maybe one of the biggest rivers I think I've ever seen. Like, we could almost do something like this, where one half of it is haunted, the other half isn't. It's a terrifying rather, not haunted necessarily, but I don't really want to do a reclaim habitual because reclaim forts tend to be really short. Oh, absolutely, Brander. Absolutely. So I'm not getting rid of Long Death. Long Death isn't going anyway. This is just a Halloween special. You know, we'll do a handful of streams of this fort, but no, Long Dwarf ain't Long Fort ain't going anywhere. That one's still continuing. If I had to bitch about anything about this world, is the one volcano is in the middle of the goddamn ocean. It's like, look, there's Hawaii. But yeah, no, there's kind of a lot of neat areas. There's also like this whole area where there's like this completely secluded little valley in here with a necromancer tower in the middle that got destroyed. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really like reclaiming old forts because they tend to be very framey and just end super quick. A bony Halloween Dwarf special. Yes. Supercontinent. Yeah, it's a supercontinent. A stupa continent. This one's also really cool. And the reason it's cool is, look at this. Well, number one, it's freezing. But check this shit out. Look at all of these towers down here. There's so many towers. And like, there's shallow metal everywhere. And deep metal. And soil. No trees, but shallow metal, deep metal, and soil. We got ourselves a sand desert. Like, I don't know. This shit's... It's just sinister, so it's not actually that evil. But there's also, like, these haunted mountains over here. Unfortunately, they don't have shallow metals, which is a little disappointing. It's where all the necromancers got banished to? More or less, yeah. There's all this haunted stuff up here. There's even a haunted ocean over here. Yeah, I don't know. There's plenty. And then there's just, like, this area that nothing lives on. Like, this is one of the only areas that's, like, empty. And it's just, there's nothing here. Horror Fears, Haunt Nightmare, Monstrosity. Monstrous City. Monstrous City sounds like a Monsters, Inc. sequel. This area here also looks pretty cool. This area looks pretty cool because out of fucking nowhere, every single one of these goblin cities just fucking died. Like, they all just died at once. Also, to be clear, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different factions to choose from. Although I do have to say, the Keys of Uttering is a pretty good name, and they're mostly dead. There isn't that many of them left. They're the few that are remaining up here, kind of in this area, but there isn't really much in the way of spook up here, unfortunately. The Sunny Metal are all down in the bottom left, kind of around that cold necromancer area. The Bolts of Fortune also fill up that area, and they actually own a few Necromancer towers down there. We have the Outrageous Tombs, which are primarily up in this region, up here, kind of in these plains. We have the Scalded Girder, who kind of are this troubled faction that are surrounded by many, many necromancers and have many destroyed forts in these haunted mountains. We have the Turquoise of Rock, who are kind of down in this middle region that also is very spooky. And the Gold Fealties, which are in this tiny little area. And they also had like some sort of mass death. I think that they dug too deep or something, because I was speeding through Legends a few weeks back in this world, and out of frickin' nowhere, all of these forts went evil and died. Like, they all went pink and died immediately. So I don't know what the hell happened, but something happened and everybody just fucking died all at once. So there, we have a lot of options and a lot of things we can do. The Keys of Uttering. It's a cow vocal farmer metal band. So they're like a southern rock band, but like very proggy and slow, and their songs are like 30 minutes long, and all of the vocals are done by a cow. It's mostly weird gnawing and chewing sounds, but you know, they're opening for Hatebeak this year, and it's going to be fantastic. There was like one too many deep cuts in that sentence. I'm also making a Reddit post right quick. You would totally listen to that? I mean, you can listen to Hatebeak right now if you want. All right. So, there's a Reddit thread up if anybody wants to help out the stream directly. And let's actually find us Disembark. So another place that we could also do is, although this wouldn't be as Halloween-y, because this area is kind of a desert, there is a haunted ocean up here. Undead Whales, anybody? I don't know. I think kind of the area that I'm maybe the most attached to. Oh, there's two more volcanoes out in the middle of the ocean. Actually, that one. Ooh. It's a pity that's not in a haunted biome. That's a neat spot, actually. What's in range? Only dwarves are in range. Boring ass Embark. But yeah, I think this is probably the area I'm the most interested in. Just because, number one, the Bolts of Fortune is a really good name. Also sounds like a prog metal band. But there's like Haunted Glaciers. That could be an interesting one. Because it's like permafrost, right? So, like, it depends. Do we want something with any kind of above-ground constructions or not? Like that valley with the Wizard Tower ruins? Which one? The one kind of up here. This one? This one's not spooky though. So this one wouldn't be well, I mean, there's like this one tile, but I can't even embark here. I mean, I guess I could embark right next to this tower. There actually is no tower in here. It's just goblins. I mean, this one would be kind of cool. We'd be like right on top of our faction. What faction is it? Yeah, this is the Throne Glazes of Righteousness. Or the Gold Fealties. Yeah, I think that we could do something up here, but maybe for Christmas. You know? Bolts of Fortune. Bolts of Fortune, I think, would either be like a super cheeseball heavy power metal band or like a way too self-serious thrash metal band. Oh, there's definitely the secrets of life and death in that tower. Most definitely. What kind of... Only deep metal? Oh, wait, no, I can't even embark there. Derp. Yeah, I'm iffy on this one. Especially because most of these spots I can't embark. Yeah, no, I don't really like that one because the local faction's got a weird name. I like this area more because this area feels like a war-torn area. So, once again, I did go through Legends in this area once before, right? And when we were looking at it, this area was up for like the first 400 years of this world was just two glowing dwarven factions. This whole thing just got annihilated. Completely annihilated in about 10 years. Good for a half noob like you, Fletcher. Yeah, I said that I was going to do this when we started Long Death, because Long Death is going to be really long, is I'm going to do short series to kind of break it up. So that's what we're doing. We're doing a short series to kind of break up Long Death a little bit and do some other stuff for a little bit. So we're doing a spooky Halloween-y fort. I'll stream this one 2, maybe 3 times. Maybe 4. Hey, Clino. How's things? So yeah, it's just kind of a matter of like where to settle. But yeah, as far as short forts that I want to do this one. I want to do one where we kind of yeah, it's fine, Brander. I need to clarify for people. So yeah, no, Long Death will be back tomorrow. Like, Long Death ain't going anywhere. But between now and kind of the end of October, I will do 3 or 4 rounds of this fort. I mean, I also have the community world, which you can go download if you want. Yeah, I like this area a lot. I mean, we could totally do the in the middle of the ocean option. This might be real short kind of area with like constant zombies walking the surface and a lot of weird micromanaging to like get dwarves into the fortress. We could do something like this, which is just kind of like a freezing tundra map. We could do something a little bit more mountainous. That actually might be a really neat embark. So that would be fun. We're in range of dwarves and humans. It's not too steep. Shallow metal, deep metal, and flux stone layer. No trees. No trees. We got 2 biomes. No trees on either of them. This one is calm, and then the mountain is sinister. That could be cool. But, I mean, they'd have trees, right, Ovs? Piss off the elves without trees? You go down to the cavern layers. Mushrooms. But the elves don't even live here. The elves are too feeble and weak to even be in this chunk of continent. Yeah, no, look all the way up here. The nearest elves are up here. So if you want to piss off elves, we'd have to settle up here. Because the elves are very far north. Or kind of actually in the very temperate biomes. There's none of them down this far south. Anywhere in the world, actually. And this is another area that I really like. So when we were in Legends, this whole faction of goblins right here is kind of their own unique faction. There's also a very, very big faction of kobolds on this peninsula. The neat thing about it, it's run by a demon who does nothing but run celebrations like 4 or 5 times a year. Okay, they have big parades constantly, and he murders like 50 goblins a year. Or it murders like 50 goblins a year. Like, that's all it does. It lives there, murders goblins, and governs with an iron fist. I love it because I kind of imagined it like this demon just really liked murdering goblins, made a goblin place far away from everything else, and just kills his people occasionally. That's all he does. Fucking brilliant. That. And it's perfectly connected to the mainland. Just kind of funny. Pretty much. Like, I imagine it kind of like a, what's the word I'm looking for here? Kind of like a frat boy, you know? Yeah, no, totally. He needs to kill things and drink and party. Fucking build your shit in a place where you can kill things, drink, and party. Yeah, I don't know. I really like this area, but Sinister is a little mild. So maybe I'm actually leaning on this. But like triple biome with a variety of things could also... Oopsies, that's not what I wanted to do. This could be fun. This is like a quad biome right here. Is it? No, it's 3. An ocean that's frozen and haunted. Frozen, haunted, ocean. Freezing, haunted tundra. And a not scary ocean. So, haunted tundra. Safe ocean. And freezing, haunted Arctic ocean. I mean, murder might not be legal, but murder is definitely legal if you're the king. Even Serene can be hopping. Oh, you can... Well, I mean, I kind of want just zombies wandering in, you know? I mean, there's enough towers here. It doesn't matter what biome it is. There will be zombies hopping in. I mean... Is there anywhere in this valley that doesn't have access to 2 towers? Fishy Poos, here's the thing. This fort's not going to be how I would recommend you start. This is... You know, this might be where I want. I might go with this one. With the Bolts of Fortune, I've looked at this one a couple of times. It's on the side of a mountain. We got shallow and deep metal. Flux stone layer. We're going to have to go down to a cavern layer to get wood. Oh yeah, no, this has got more towers than a Lord of the Rings marathon for sure. Plenty of dwarves around. Yes, in World Gen. I don't know if that actually happens. I want to say that that will happen, but it's a very slow recede, yeah. Like, I don't know if you'd ever actually notice it, but, like, over hundreds of years, yes, it will recede. Watch a pro stream play from early game. I'd hardly call myself pro. Yeah, long death, if there was towers. Well, actually, there is some evil stuff building up in long death. But it's not from towers. This is from goblins. You saw the effect in 30 to 35. Here's the thing that I think is really cool, though, is at some point, Tarn wants it to be so that if a tower's biome around it becomes sinister or evil while you're living there, then the biome that you are settled on will actively become evil. So, like, you could just be, like, happy-go-lucky playing away in your calm forest, and then boom, tower pops up, and you're just happy-go-lucky playing away in your forest, and then suddenly the trees start bleeding. You're like, oh god, fuck, help. Yeah, but again, like, I think it's one of those things that would happen so slowly that would you ever really notice, Padinsky? I think that might be it. It's kind of between here and, like, up here. This would be a little bit more seasonal. But we could be, like, on the shores of a haunted ocean. That's... Why do I keep hitting N? Stop hitting N, dumb thumb. But this one could also be cool. It's cold. Temperate woodland down at the bottom. Temperate ocean, terrifying. Like, both of these are terrifying. So I guess it depends. What do you guys want to see more? Do you guys want to see haunted ocean and forest, or a haunted mountain? You've just set up your cozy beekeeping industry and elven spit. I mean, more like snot. It starts raining boogers and you're just like, ah! Johnny, what up? Cheers, man. You know, I'm just gonna do this. I'm going to put a poll into the chat. Mountain or ocean? Go. It's up at it should be up at the top of the chat. They're both haunted, so it doesn't matter. Well, one's sinister, the other's terrifying. So this one's actually a little scary. Okay, so we're leaning ocean. All right, we're gonna go ocean then. The ocean of blossoms. How cheerful! Seems like they're gonna be spooky fish. I'm hoping for zombie whales. You know, here's the thing. I've never actually seen a whale in Dwarf Fortress. I've made many clothing out of whale things, but I've never actually seen a whale. So, now it's just kind of a matter of where on the beach do we want to settle. Oh, that could be fun right there. There's actually like a triple biome. I haven't decided where exactly on this beach I'm going to settle. We'll settle on the ocean, but That could actually be fun. Because then that gives us 1 tile of Untamed Wilds as well, which means we can have zombies, evil things, and giant mites and bugs. 267. Make blind go away. Yeah, it makes me take an extra day off and actually relax and not edit anything. Unless Victoria posts screenshots. Oh, another cool thing about this world. There are multiple baby dragons in Legends. Multiple. Multiple. I think that's our spot. So that we have 1 tile of unhaunted, untamed wilds for me to dig in. Terrifying woodland. So there are some trees on the surface. And temperate shrubland. And a cold, temperate ocean. With no trees, obviously. Shallow metal. Little soil. Terrifying biome. Deep metal in the temperate shrubland that's terrifying. And shallow metal in the not evil area. So, regardless, it'll be fun. In theory, yes. There are 11 living dragons that are adults. And I found 1 initially when I was searching. And I found 4 more when I was looking through the world's history offline. So there's 4 baby dragons. In theory, yes. How many are unliving? There's at least 5 zombie rocks. Giant birds of prey. You have selected an area with salt water. It could be very difficult to survive here. That's the least of my concerns, video game. But, you know, thank you for the warning. I will heed it. I'm worried. ROC, a rock. It's a giant bird of prey. Zombie hydras are fun. Yeah, rocks are like, imagine an eagle with wings the size of school buses. Just, that's a rock. All right, so let's do the important things first. We need a group name. We are a spooky fortress on the haunted ocean in a once grand, now relatively demolished fortress or faction. It's an eagle that can carry away an adult elephant. Yes. Terror Fate of Drowned, the drowning drowned. Surviving ghosts. How about the ancient ghosts? And Link Man, how you been? It's good to see you. I like that that generated name, the Sly Boat. There is a very real possibility that we spawn and immediately die. Yes. Yes. At which point, then we make another one. Let's go with after I almost want to go with after death. Kind of want to go with the ghosts of after death. Undead giant sponges. As long as they stay in the ocean, that's fine. I kind of want to call the fortress After Death, actually. The adjective... The Dark... The Dark Fate, I think, is a video game name. The Dark Living, Loving, Mint, Taupe Mauve, Chestnut, Olive, Cobalt, Gray, the Dark Gray. Habitual, adventurous, laminated, boring. Squeezing, defective, bejeweled, muddled, complex, merged, confusing, scrapped, the dark scrapped, scorched, soapy. Now we're on to something. I kind of like that. The dark embraced. The soapy sponge. The soapy sponge of Cartoon Network. I need a new candle soon. This one's not happy. I kind of like that, the dark embraced. Umam Kural. I'm gonna go with that. So that's our faction name, our government name, not our fortress name, our government name. So the government name is the Dark Embraced, or group name. The fort name, I kind of want to go with After Death. After Death just sounds cool. But what was Stone had some ideas. Terrafate the Down, Surviving Ghosts. Dark Souls of Fortresses. I wonder if you could actually make the name the Dark Souls of Fortress. Probably could. Light and gray and gray. Yeah. I mean, the dwarves are good. You know? The dwarves aren't bad. The dive. Oh, I can't do tavern. Oh. Dive bar. Definitely a staple of Halloween for me. I don't know about you guys. Hey, Vess, what's up? Happy freaking Monday. Fortress Dive Bar. Horror Fears, Hunt Nightmare, Monstrous City. Dive Bar of Terror. Dive Bar of Gross. Dive Bar of... Oh, God, clean your garbage out of your bathroom. Shit, there's vomit everywhere. Yeah, that's how Halloween usually goes for me on a normal year. I never thought I would miss the shitty dive bars, but I miss the shitty dive bars. Shattered Ocean. Bactus Migur. Sounds like a Magic Treehouse book for adults. Kind of does. Kind of does. Anus water. Had a 10 pounds on Saturday. Free drinks all night. Oh my God. Like pre-COVID or currently? That must be awful beer. Like, that must be
many people ask me, Nikita,
awful beer. Ryan, I got a question. Do you have time to record tonight? That's where elves live. Fishy poos. But hi, Ryan. What's up, man? Depends on when you get off. Well, I'm going to end stream at 2:30. Go to the doctor's office. Come back from doctor's office. Nap. Go to parents' house. Come back from parents' house. Then I can stream. 3 p.m. to question mark? All right, well. Yeah, I don't know. Did you see that video I sent you, by the way? I really like Shattered Ocean. But it doesn't sound that haunted. That's just a good name. I don't know if I want it to be a super long name. That's the problem, you know? Shattered Ocean of Death. Sound evil yet? Your student bar had the grossest beer ever. It was like €1 per pint. My favorite dive bar, I used to go to pre-pandemic. I never went there that often. I would only go there after metal shows ended when I didn't need to do anything the next day. And they were open till 4 in the morning. And they had $2 pints of a local brewery, Parallel 49, which is like one of the big local breweries. And they have a lager, which is just their generic lager, and it's drinkable. Like, it's miles better than like Bud Light, but like it's not good, if that makes any sense. So it's a drinkable cheap beer, and they just had pitchers of that for, I think it was like $5, and pints of that for $2. But if you bought 3 pints, they'd take $1 off. So generally what people would either do is buy 3 pitchers or 3 pints. So you just walk around with 3 pints like this. Yeah. Or you'd like put one on your table and then drink one and then drink the other one and then drink. It was, or like you just like generally what we would do is if we'd go there, we'd just hand the bartender $100, or my one friend who I've never hung out with outside of metal shows, but occasionally I would just bump into him in a metal pit and he'd be like, bar after, and I'd be like, yeah. Anyway, he'd always wear this like trucker hat, like the most trucker hat. When you think generic trucker hat, he wears trucker hat. Anyway, he'd just take his hat off and we just throw cash into it and we just hand whatever was in that in the bar and just say, bring us beer until we run out. And that, yeah, that's basically what we just give them that, and they just bring us a round of pints, and we drink the pints. He'd bring us another round of pints. We drink. I never did that very often, but man, I want to do that again. The good times. Anyway, Shattered Ocean of Death could work. It's a bit long on the tooth, though. I used to read those books, yeah. My mom read those out loud, and we actually had a set of those, Labrin, which were on cassette, which were read by the author. It's good times. It was like the Magic School Bus, but books and less educational and more fantasy, minus the hot teacher. So, significantly worse. Shattered. You know what? Let's just go with Shatteredmonster. Have you looked at Miss Frizzle in the last, like, 10 years? She's pretty cute. Like, when you're like 9 years old, she cool teacher. When you're 25, damn. Anyway. Besides, she has a magic school bus. Who doesn't want a magic school bus? I'll bet you she's great at parties. What? What do you call it? Magic Treehouse? Really? An anime. Yeah, we're just gonna go I'm gonna go with Shatteredmonster. Now I need a symbol. I take way too long with all this stuff. The Skin of Dies. I think we're gonna roll with one of Stone's names, which was Monstrous City for no. Monstrous the Skin of Dies. No, thank you. Cancel that. Cancel that. Monstrous. Something. Oh, there it is. Monstrous Cities. Monstrous Cities is going to be the name of our symbol. And the symbol, because we are Shattered Monsters, it's the name of the fortress. I need a monster. Can I, like, zombie? No. Giant? No. Sponge. There we go. Let's go with that. It'll be a sponge. 1. Laughing? Weeping? Dead? Dead. This is an image of a giant sponge. The giant sponge is dead. Burning? Contemplating? Cringing? Engraving? Falling? In fetal position. The thought of a sponge in fetal position is very funny. Screaming? Aren't sponges always screaming, though? Like, that's just a given, right? Sorry, just a giant, like, a living sponge just, ah! Melting? It could be melting, yeah. It could be terrified. Withering away, probably more realistic. Suffering, traveling, striking a triumphant pose, smeared out into a spiral. These are oddly specific, and that's why I love them. Actually, how about this? And a dwarf. This is an image of a giant sponge and a dwarf. The giant sponge is dead. The dwarf is melting. The giant sponge is devouring the dwarf. The dwarf is screaming? There's a body part in the objects category? Oh no, that's the action of relation. Huh. An image of a giant sponge, a dwarf, and body parts. The giant sponge is dead. The dwarf is melting. The giant sponge is devouring the dwarf, and the artwork and the dwarf is screaming. This is an image of monstrous cities. The image of what was the name of our group again? I know what it was and I liked it. A local dwarven government. So let's just go with that. Group name, The Dark Embraced. A local dwarven government. I'm happy with that. We'll leave stream up. Alrighty, Dragonman. See you when we see you, man. All right, so how can we go about this? Can you be Pinkula the dwarf? I mean, you can be whatever you want. Just we kind of have a lot of people here, and I'm trying to figure out how we can make this fair for everybody. You abstain for a name for now? Fair enough. Do I have a sub list? I mean, I do, but I don't like making it sub only because that's not fair. Not everybody can afford to sub, right? Number guessing? Sure, we could do it that way. All right, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 50. First person to get, like, within 1 gets it. Gets the first dwarf, and we'll do this for each one. 1 and 50, 5-0. I'm gonna wait for, like, 2 more people to put numbers in. One more after Linkman. I'm giving it to Quatch because I was thinking of 36. She is 77 years old, born on the 19th of Granite in the year 973. Her teeth are gaped and her hair is clean shaven. Her aquamarine eyes have large irises. She has a high voice and she has high cheekbones. Her nose is narrow and her very short ears are extraordinarily broad. Her hair is raw umber and her skin is dark peach. She is tough and slow to tire. She is weak and very slow to heal, which means you're going to die. She likes iron, moose hoof, rat tooth, snail shell, and cave spider silk, rope reed fabric, and muscles for their beauty. The words of the cup of breeches and the sound of the blanketed guard, and the sight of the couple of tweeting. That is a, I don't ever want to see a couple tweeting. I'm not gonna lie. She personally finds romance distasteful, and doesn't particularly value loyalty, and dreams of crafting a masterwork someday. You'll get another round once I'm done reading this. Personally finds romance distasteful and doesn't particularly value loyalty. Dreams of crafting a masterwork someday. Is unfriendly and disagreeable. I can relate to this. And is bothered by this since she values friendship. I can also relate to this. Finds a chaotic mess preferable to the boredom of harmonious living. I like metal shows. I can also relate to this. She generally acts with a narrow focus on the current activity. Doesn't seek out excitement and has a sense of duty. Does not often feel lustful, and she enjoys the company of others. She tries to do things correctly each time, and she has a tendency to consider the ideas and abstractions over practical applications. Doesn't focus on material goods, and doesn't tend to hold on to grievances. She occasionally overindulges and runs her fingers through her hair when she's nervous. Needs alcohol to get through the working day. The long run dwarf you got there? Well, I mean, I'll give you a few points in weaponsmith. Because you like iron. Hopefully we find iron. All right. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 41. It isn't secretly. That's a common fact. CCX. You can guess again, Orban. So I was thinking 27. So we'll give it to Linkman. She is 51 years old, born on the 14th of Obsidian in the year 999. The year, no. I'm feeling randy today. Can someone explain to me what that means? What's the term I'm feeling randy mean? Because I've seen a few dwarves say that, and it's always perplexed me. It's like, who's Randy and why are you feeling him? She has a recessed chin. A somewhat narrow brass eyes, large irises, and hair that is clean-shaven. Teeth that are gaped, and a very short ears that are extraordinarily broad. Her hair is raw umber, and her skin is peach. Actually? Interesting. Randy is someone who is sexually excited. Huh. That is hilarious. Never heard that term before. Is that like in more, like what year was that a popular term? I think I'm good. Oh, I appreciate that, but I've literally never heard anyone say that before. The more you know. British term? That would be what, I'm pretty far away from the UK last I checked. I mean, I figured if I Googled it, I'd figure it out pretty quick. Dictionary would tell me, but... She is currently ablaze with feelings of lust. Well, there you go. And does not generally seek retribution for her past wrongs. She is comfortable around others that are different from herself. And she is rarely tries to assert herself into the conversation. Feels envious of others and rarely feels discouraged. Has a greedy streak and chews her cheek when she's bored. She scratches her nose when she's thinking, and she needs alcohol to get through the working day. She likes working outdoors and only grumbles mildly at inclement weather. No, actually, I haven't. I made it about 10 minutes into that movie and closed it because I thought it was absolutely atrocious. It's in Sphinx Prime. So no, I've never seen Austin Powers. Made it about 10 minutes into the first one. I was like, this is god-awful, and turned it off. It's one of, like, 4 movies I've just shut off and stopped watching, including the likes of Borat. What other movies I've shut off? That movie, that, what was it called? God damn. 6 Underground? Underground 6? Recent Netflix movie, Michael Bay joint. God awful. And, it's another movie I shut off halfway through. That, I'm snapping my finger and trying to remember the name of it now. That Breaking Bad movie. That was also on Netflix relatively recently. But anyway, yeah. No, I've never, I've El Camino. Yeah, that thing. That was terrible. Anyway. Likes nickel, red zircon, capybara leather, beaver parchment. I wonder why. Color saffron, windows, bracelets, and gazelmen for their grace. I'm chilly. The words of the fiery heat. Interesting dwarf. I don't really want to give you any skills. Probably just make you into a miner for right now. Next one. I'm thinking of a number between 1 and 31. You also can't stand Borat. I've seen the ads for the new Borat, and it makes me want to punch a window out. Like, makes me feel like real shit. just seeing it. I've seen, Die Another Day, Goldeneye, Goldfinger. You Only Live Twice. I'm blanking on James Bond movie names. I know I've seen more than that. I don't like the recent James Bond movies at all. I like the old ones. The old ones are good ones. So closest one was Lobberin, because I was thinking 27. I should just like think the same number every time, but change like the range so it throws people off. Lobberin. Wait, no, there's another O in there. It's Lobberin. '73. Born on the 28th of Limestone. Likes native gold. Ooh, fancy zinc and sunstone, traction benches and llamas. Personally, does not care about fairness and doesn't particularly value loyalty, but dreams of mastering skills. Likes giant sponges for their, likes llamas for their wool and sponges for their squishy texture. Look at that. Trying to put you off. I am primeval. We know this. I'm going to put on my hoodie because I'm freezing. Why? Because great intuition and lots of willpower. She is quite ambitious. Yeah, well. Nobody's perfect, right, Ryan? Also, engravers are cool. I can make you into a stoneworker. She is quite ambitious. Rarely feels discouraged, and she is grateful when others help her out. She tries to return favors and tends to assume the worst of two outcomes will be the one that comes to pass. She tends to avoid crowds and is trusting. She is generally quite confident in her abilities when undertaking specific ventures. She likes parties and merrymaking in the abstract and likes to take it easy. Generally acts with a narrow focus on the current activity and doesn't handle stress well. Our leader, eh? Hope not. Likes to brawl and tends to make a small mess of her own possessions. Often lowers her eyes when she's thinking and needs alcohol to get through the working day. This is all lady for it so far. All right, so on this dwarf, I'm thinking of a number between 1 and, let's say 99. Let's go in the other direction. Sponges? Better, yeah, better be. I mean, if anything, the ambition. Quite ambitious. And good intellectual and willpower. And good intellectual, that's English. Metal crafters? Crafters, I guess gem cutters. But I need gold first, don't matter. Anyone else want to throw their hat into the pot? Just pick a number between 1 and 99. Well, the number I was thinking of was 90, so Pink Fluffy gets it. '88 years old, born on the 17th of Hematite in the year 962. He is incredibly tough, agile, and slow to tire. Large amethyst eyes. His eyelashes are short and peach skin. Hair is clean shaven. Nose is sharply hooked. His sideburns is braided. His very long mustache is braided. Double braids. His long beard is arranged in double braids. He is quick to form negative views about things. I can relate to this. And isn't given to flights of fancy. He has an active sense of humor and rarely happy or enthusiastic. He is conflicted by this as he values parties and merrymaking in the abstract. He is quite comfortable with others and that have different appearance or culture, and he likes a little excitement now and again. He doesn't often feel envious of others, and he tends to be a little wasteful when working on projects. He could be considered rude, and he needs alcohol to get through the working day. So you like silver and green diamond. All of these dwarves like strict metals. Can't just have everybody making metalworker. You prefer to consume frill shark. Well, You like merrymaking in the abstract. The next dwarf that we have, well, is a number between 1 and 10. Let's make it simpler this time. Single digit number between 1 and 10. I can explain it. It's pretty simple, Lobo. Well, the number I was thinking of was 1, so Vin gets it. Top bit, age. Second bit is their look and appearance. This is things they like. This is like their ability, like their skill set, basically. The type of creature that they are, their outlook on life, and their mental state. Cheers, G Panta, Pink Fluffy. She is 64 years old, born on the 25th of Limestone in the year 986. Her teeth are gaped, and her protruding, close-set copper eyes have large irises. Her hair is clean-shaven, and her narrow nose is quite long. Her ears are very short, and her hair is raw umber. Her skin is peach. She likes mica, copper, crystal beryl, goat tooth, coral, and common snapping turtle. That's unfortunate because corals don't exist. She personally finds the proposition that one would work hard and in life an utterly oh, hold on. I need to reread that sentence. She personally finds the proposition that one should work hard in life utterly abhorrent. She is grounded in reality and forms strong emotional bonds with others. At times, she is to her detriment. She rarely feels discouraged and is rarely happy or enthusiastic. She is conflicted by this as she values parties and merrymaking in the abstract. She is quick to form negative views about things and tends to be swayed by the emotions of others, can handle stress, and is not particularly interested in what others think of her. She gnaws on her cheek when she's excited, and she needs alcohol to get through the working day. I mean, we're gonna die hard in hell, so might as well have a lot of partiers. All right, I need a few stragglers. Pick a number between 1 and 10 for the last two. I mean, Vuzel gets it because I was thinking of 1 again. She's 51 years old, born on the 2nd of Obsidian in 999. Thin body, almost no fat, high cheekbones, and very narrow chin. She's incredibly quick to heal and strong. You sound like a military dwarf. Likes bronze, chalk, lavender, jade, crystal glass, giant sperm whale leather, and sheep wool. The color lavender picks and shields in catapult parts and Iron Men? Hold on a second. You like comic book? Well, there's Iron Men in this world. Not to be confused with the Iron Man. Anyway, an Iron Men for their stern appearance, dimple cups for their soothing color, and the sight of the couple of tweeting. She personally would just as soon have nature and the great outdoors burned to ashes and converted into a great mining pit. Views loyalty unfavorably and values hard work. She dreams of raising a family, is very quick to anger, and doesn't generally think before acting. Mood is very comfortable around others that are different from herself, and she is quick to form negative views about things. She tends to make a small mess with her own possessions, and she likes a little excitement now and then. She tends to ask others for help with difficult decisions, and she is often cheerful. She has a calm demeanor and very humble. She has a greedy streak, and she is somewhat fearful in the face of imminent danger. Doesn't often experience strong cravings or urges, and she can occasionally lose focus on the matter at hand. Possibly. She has a great memory and a feel for music, questionable spatial sense, poor empathy, and poor kinesthetic sense. Not a lot of good soldiers here. Like, no one's really brave in the face of danger. So this is the last dwarf. So pick a number between 1 and 1,000. I mean, obviously it's 666. Vergten. Hello, Humor. How's things? It was between that or 420 when I was deciding on a number, and I went with 666. He is 60 years old. Born on the 22nd of Slate in the year 990. Dreams of mastering a skill. Sideburns that are clean-shaven, long mustache and double braids. Very long beard arranged in double braids, and very long hair arranged in double braids. His teeth are gaped, and his rust eyes are have very large irises. His nose is narrow, and his ears are very short. His hair is raw umber, and his skin is peach. He is shameless and absolutely unfazed by the thoughts of others. He is not careful with resources when working on projects and is often spends unnecessary effort. He is somewhat quarrelsome and he is bothered by this, since he values friendship. He tries to do things correctly each time, and he is often cheerful. He tends to assume the worst of two outcomes will be the one to pass. And to pass? What? Pass. There's no T in that word, you dum-dum. He tends to square this natural tendency with his respect of martial prowess and tends to ask others for help with difficult decisions. Generally acts with a narrow focus on the current activity and often feels envious of others. Doesn't seek out excitement and tends to form only tenuous emotional bonds with others. He isn't particularly curious about the world and can handle stress. Finally! He needs alcohol to get through the working day and likes working outdoors, but only grumbles mildly at shitty weather. All right, well, you're going to be our soldier at the end there. Virgton, you're going to be our militia commander. Let's get in a little bit more proper, shall we? Items. This should be pretty quick. Because it's spooky, I don't know how quickly I'll be able to make food and booze. I'm keeping the thread just... Okay, we must eat... Okay, never mind. I thought that was all fish for a second there. I'm gonna bring some extra foodstuffs with me. Gonna bring a whole bunch of extra alcohol with me. And 2 extra picks. And just put the rest into booze. Well, maybe not all of it. A bunch of it into booze. Put like, I don't know, that much into booze. Bring us 2 dogs and a bunch of chicks. Hens, specifically. Oopsies. And 1 rooster. Some more ale, and why not just plump helmet spawn? All right. Are we missing anything? We are the Dark Embraced, embarking to Shatteredmonster. And our symbol is known as the Monstrosities. Monstrous Cities. A giant sponge, a dwarf, and body parts. The giant sponge is dead, the dwarf is melting. Wait, what? The giant sponge is dead, the dwarf is melting. There we go, yeah, no, that's right. And the giant sponge is devouring the dwarf. The dwarf is screaming. Animals can be gay, take 2. If the odds are what I remember, I'm okay with just 1. I'd rather have the extra hen, but yeah, you're probably right. The odds of that are like minuscule though. It's more like animals can be sterile. But yeah. Some animals just refuse to breed. Hey! To one of the dwarves. We already named all of them. We were picking numbers between, like, specific numbers to name dwarves. So what we're going to do is when, the migrant waves come in, we can start doing that. And in Burke. Just let me update title with the name of the fort for my own. You have arrived after a journey from the mountain homes into the forbidding wilderness beyond. Your harsh trek has finally ended, and your party of 7 is to make an outpost for the glory of all Aloth Akam. That's a good name. There's almost no supplies left, but with stout labor comes sustenance. Luckily, we brought lots of extra beer. Thanks for the first $1 of the week. Cheers, Vin. Thanks. And Lubberin, thanks for that Prime subscription. 100 more bits and that's a hype train. And we are only just getting started. Chat, can I get a round of beers for the 100 bits? And for that brand new Prime subscription. It's good to have you, man. Cheers. There is almost no supplies left, but with stout labor comes sustenance. Whether by bolt, plow, or hook, provide for your dwarves. You are expecting a supply caravan just before the winter entombs you. But it is spring now. Enough time to delve secure lodgings ere the dingoes get hungry. A new chapter of dwarven history begins here at this place. Bactus. Is it like Bactus? Ushang? Shatteredmonster. Strike Dwarf. And instantly pause. Well, first thing we need to check, there's an osprey on the map. Okay. We are on the ocean. I don't know if it's gonna melt or not. I'm a little bit scared to unpause now, actually, that I think about it. But as far as trees go, there are certainly trees. Let's have a peek at the kinds of trees. It'll be fine. Well, I'm sure, right? It's a big tree. Dead highwood trunk. Dead palm tree. All right, so they're all dead. You have all the time in the world or until spring. It is spring, sir. So you know what I'm gonna do? Just because... Okay, hold on. Where is my wagon in relation to the ocean? You guys are making me nervous here, dwarves. Okay, so wagon is not on water. Everything is sinister, Harold. Everything is sinister except for the bottom right down here, which is Untamed Wilds. We are right here. There be tower right there. So that tower is like, I don't know, right on top of us? I love the name of that site government, the Blockaded Future. There's also one right here. The ocean is evil, but it is frozen right now. So yeah, there's I think three or four towers in range or something. 4. Yeah, 4 towers. 1, 2, 3, probably 5 even. Yeah, this is fine. So what we need to do is we need to dig a hole yesterday. For a split second, I was like, why didn't that work? And then I realized you put an extra L in Kobold. So it doesn't matter who get mining. Maybe not Quatch. Who's our expedition leader? Lubberin is our expedition leader. Course dreams of mastering a skill, rarely feels discouraged, and is grateful when others help her out. It's got to be that intuition and willpower, man. You mean dwarf emotions are always one of those? I like that you have poor creativity and next to no empathy. Right, well, you can have mining. You can have mining. I'm not going to worry too much outside of that. But I do need 4 miners. No, we're not parked on the ice. We're parked right next to the edge to the ice. Yeah, you know, we're just gonna go dig that. Are we just getting like, oh. Are we getting attacked by oysters? What is actually happening right here? No, but there are oyster vermin just everywhere. Should I make like a fishing spot so we could just collect a bunch of oysters? Well, we found gems already. All right, let's just get this digging. Real quick. And let's get a trapdoor on this and get everything and everybody down in here. Because who knows what the hell is going to pop up on the surface. Any minute. Also, when the not winter is happening, when spring rolls around, if this melts, this is going to have waves, probably. This does have shallow metals, so. And I need someone who is not digging. Quatch, you can. I'm going to give you masonry. Check for animals. All albatrosses. Okay, so nothing undead yet. We're going to have to keep a close eye on that. That is so strange. There's just oysters everywhere up on the surface. All right, so I'm just going to make this into a meeting area real quick so that the dwarves and everybody get underground. There you go, guys. Go underground. Much better. Snow's already starting to melt. I don't know if or when the ocean is going to melt. I'm assuming it's when, not if. And we're also going to need to get all of our foodstuffs inside. All right. I mean, so far, so good, right? Thanks for the $, Spitalier. Cheers, man. Oh, they suspended the construction of the workshop. Well, I mean, that's probably because there's animals on top of it. Let's try putting it up there. I wonder what vermin we have down here. There's just... Okay, so I've never seen just, like, oysters on the surface before. Interesting. Chat, can I get a couple more beers for Spitalier? That was almost a hype train. You were off by 3 minutes. But thank you so much, man, regardless. For the $. Because we had 100 bits from Vin and a Prime sub, like, at the exact same time. Let's make a hatch cover. And, 2 tables, 2 thrones, 2 doors. Got that hatch cover getting made. You're cutting his hair then? Ah, it's okay. Don't worry about it. But thank you very much for the $1 regardless. Making that weekly leaderboard less empty. So what are we digging in? What kind of stone is this? It's all shale. Wonder if we see anything around the edge of the ocean. Also, how deep is this ocean? Just some gems. Okay, so it's only 1 tile deep. It's not a particularly deep ocean. Vozel has become a miner. I'm going to put a trade depot up here and just make it out of shale. Because we still don't know what kind of shit's gonna spawn here. I'm gonna put that hatch there. It's still just albatross. Albatross not that bad. So far so good. But because there's 3 towers nearby, highly likely there will be random party of wandering undead relatively quick. So you are going to be our woodcutter, Verge, and don't take this the wrong way. The reason I'm making you into the unfortunate dwarven task of a woodcutter is because you're also going to be our military expedition leader, and we need you to have an axe in your hand. But Verge, if you're in the chat still, this is your squad. What do you want to name it? Please don't make it like butt punchers, the stabby anus or something stupid. Like, it's something that sounds relatively dwarfy. If you don't want to name it, I can just come up with something. Or we can get chat to come up with something, but... I'm going to pop up onto the surface again. We're going to go hack down some of these already dead trees, just for some beds. Those are big fucking trees, though. Let me tell you. What's that? I saw something flickering. A swarm of acorn flies. I mean, if you can make butt-punching smelly anus sound dwarfy, I'm all for it, but butt punchers sounds like human potty humor, not dwarfy potty humor, so if you can make something sound like dwarfy potty humor, I'm all in. If that distinction makes any sense. You're getting random freezes in your stream? Yeah, it's not on my end, I don't think. I mean, it might be. I wouldn't put it past Twitch. I don't want to... I'll do a separate wood one. So this is just going to be a pretty generic everything stockpile. Just get the stuff put there, please. Good question. I don't know. I was wondering that myself. I've never seen just like oysters as vermin on the floor. Does that mean my dwarves can just pick them up? Or did they need to like... Or do I need to make like vermin traps for them? Time of year it be. Mid-spring? We are in a cold biome. I'm expecting the ocean to melt at some point. It does, yeah. Dathsquith? Dathsquith. There you go. It's all yours. I don't know how dwarfy eating oysters off the floor sounds to me, mostly because eating oysters doesn't sound particularly dwarfy to me. All right, so they should just, you know, finish constructing that little wall that I started building there. All right, this is starting to take some shape now. And things are really starting to melt. We really need to get all that crap out of there. Because if that starts waving... Ooh. Undead meat? I don't think they're undead oysters. I'm pretty sure they're just oysters. Although we're kind of lucky right now because the only creatures are spawning in the untamed wilds biome right now. So it's not... Nothing's actually undead on the map right now. But it's definitely a spooky biome because everything is just dead. Oysters don't need water in an evil biome? I mean, like, if you have livestock underground, right, and there's nothing to kill the vermin, then vermin just accumulates, right, around them. Normally it's like slugs, worms, beetles, bugs, spiders, that sort of shit. But here it's just like, oh, what are those? Mussels, moon snails, oyster, oyster, oyster. I mean, that's... a moon snail on my mason's workshop. I'm just, you know, for science, I need to know. Maybe don't put you on fishing, but... They love bugs? I like to imagine they're just eating the bugs. Like, they just find food. You know, like, they're not actually... They don't actually need to eat, nah, but... Well, things just got interesting. Dacostrum's demon. A small, three-eyed humanoid. It has thin wings of stretched skin. Its black skin is wrinkled. This night creature was first created by the dwarven fated one Aban. Floorwind. Room brother. After horrible experiments on the goblin, Iqui Esteem Pass in Pixafe in the year 690. Holy fuck, it moving. Seems to be staying in the bottom right of the map. Sure, it's friendly, right? I mean, it's not just coming for us, so it's probably one of those proximity things, right? Let's just forbid most of this wood. Gotta keep an eye on this thing. I got the horizontal door up. Uh-oh. Okay, it's still kind of... It's staying pretty far away from us. Oh, there's an albatross over there. You're fine? Yeah, it's a wild animal, but still. Don't know how strong this thing is. I mean, like... Example. Undead wild boars. Wild animal. Can still kill like 5 dwarves. Without really blinking. So we still don't really know what we're dealing with until we actually deal with one, you know? Actually, you know what? No, I don't want to actually do that. Let's get the rest of my shit underground. that everything? Yep, that's everything. Let's get the wagon inside. And he's flying around. Yeah, I'm not really worried about that thing unless it like gets into close proximity of us. If it gets into close proximity, then I'm a little bit worried. But outside of that, not super worried. I'm gonna give you architecture so that we can go get that thing started. The mason can start working on blocks. Make a carpenter shop, and then we're gonna start digging down again. Because this is just kind of a let's get everything underground thing. Let's also make those 2 tables and 2 thrones so that they have somewhere to sit. Even if it just briefly. Okay, it's raining. Is that rain? Yeah, it's raining. Raining pretty... Oh, no, it's snowing now. Going to expand the size of this. Actually, first I'm going to get rid of that one. I'm going to expand the size of this meeting area. Oopsies. Stop removing zones. Expand the size of this meeting area. Add in tavern. The Crystalline Apple. That's an awful name. Rename location. The Cult Armory. Creative Wall. Home of Bowls. That sounds like a tavern. There you go. That can be our home of bowls. So now they have somewhere to listen to and recite poetry. That'll make them a little bit happier for the time being. It's always educational when you meet undead experiments of a world for a first time. On physical limitations, or do they come with fancy magical abilities as well? Yeah, no, totally. It's like it's reason to be cautious. I not like guaranteed death by any stretch or anything. Like being like terrified of it is maybe a little silly, but like at the same time, you know, exercise caution, right? It might just have the personality of a kitty cat, which is horrifying. It might have the personality of a puppy dog and be great. You never know. I don't know why I'm like building a little doorway here, but I am. That should be big enough for dwarves to make it in. Or traders to make it in. Plenty of alcohol. So something that's fun about this fort is there's like nothing growing. Also claim some of this wood. Get that wood inside. Yeah, this thing's just flying around. So this is basically just a really scary goblin bird. And before this thing steals an anvil. Like, you've seen what Kias do now. Just wait until you see what that thing does. Oh, there we go. There's the ocean. So the ocean melted around the 26th of Slate mid-spring. Let's see how big that wave is. Whoa. Pretty big. That's pretty neat. That's our evil ocean. Looks like it's good for surfing. I'm glad those waves aren't bigger. Those are totally tolerable. I need a good ominous sounding soundtrack. This'll do. That's the wrong one. Times 2. Dear internet, can you not? There we go. Yeah, that does look really cool. I like it a lot. Oceans are fun. They're not brilliant on the frames, but they're fun. My biggest concern right now, though, actually, like, everything else aside, I'm really, really, really worried about someone getting a dumb injury and then, like, me not having water nearby. Needs masonry. I need a second dwarf with masonry. Let's give Pink Fluffy masonry. And then I need a butcher shop. Oh yeah, no, totally. Well, I mean, it's a little bit more complicated than just a screw pump because I also need to do some digging and stuff, but yes. Also, we've got bat rays. Favorite weapon of Batman. Sea nettle jellyfish. Oh, there is actually a deeper chunk over here. And a whole school of herring. You wouldn't bat a ray at that, Ryan. You have aquifers on? I never turn off aquifers, but there's no aquifer on this embark. I like aquifers normally. I think it's easier to have a simple aquifer. So yeah, I quite like aquifers, actually. All right, I'm going to give you butchery and tanning. A free will because they always make things well. Yeah, no, they do. Yeah, no, I never turn aquifers off, but there just happened to be none on this embark. It's a very dry embark. But I mean, we don't really need an aquifer. We have a freaking ocean, so we should be fine. A dry embark on an ocean? The surrounding region is like... very much like wasteland, drylands kind of thing. Like, I don't know what the evil's done to this area, but it's not particularly wet or rainy. This is Hollow Knight. Hello, Bog 2. I haven't seen a troll face emote in a Twitch chat in about 10 years. Yeah, the waves indeed. Cool. It is accessible. I need a dwarf to do engineering and mechanics. I'm also going to make an area for them to pray. Guys, trust me. I know it's just a square on the ground that says worship here, plus, but it's a temple. Let's have a peek at the deities, because I haven't looked at these at all. There's a deity of volcanoes named Sirab. Arzes, which is the deity of lightning, thunder, and storms. So Thor Sathal, the god of misery and torture. Servesh, the god of fire. 2 of us worship Servesh. Ice the Bronze, the god of jewels. 3 worshippers. 1 worshipper of Nethgon? Nethgan? The god of death and disease. Kurlig, the escorted, god of fortresses. And Avus, the god of mountains and earth. I like the Crimson Fellowship. That's a good name. But it's going to be that. The Withering Faction. The Withering of what? The Withering of Factions is the name of our temple. I'm going to keep it with that. Oh, the god's name means warmth? All right, so I got 2 animals to butcher. I'm going to butcher the cow and the camel because I've got literally nowhere to keep them. That's just going to be a dormitory. So I've assigned the beds and hit D. So that's a dormitory. It's a place for them to sleep. There goes all the meats. Which dwarf was Randy? No. She worships the deity of jewels and wealth. Who, seems to have had quite a few books written about them. And also cursed a bunch of dwarves. They're all kindred spirits already. How long have I been playing Dwarf Fortress Bog? I first downloaded the game in 2009 while in queue for Heroes of Newerth? I can't remember if I'd started playing League of Legends at that point. But at the time I was playing ADOM in queue for Heroes of Newerth. And a friend of mine who I was playing with recommended this weird game that he just found out about on 4chan called Dwarf Fortress. And I was like, all right, why not? I'll take a look. Took a look. Then I installed it, extracted it, launched it, thought it had a strange resolution, shrugged, clicked on the start playing, generated a world, wondered why it was taking so long, and Alt F4'd and forgot about it. Rinse and repeat once every 6 months, and started reading about it on and off. Eventually I got to the point where I could like generate a world and like read legends, and I'd try starting an adventure and give up, and never really got very far. Around 2015, I kind of got to the point where I could read legends, generate a world, and start an adventure or start a fortress. But, you know, it was pretty standard, like, oh, they all just die of thirst or something. About 2017, chat started harassing me, because I've been streaming since 2014. Around 2017, chat started harassing me to start streaming it. I started streaming it in 2018. And now I've probably have thousands of hours in the game. Who doesn't like it? What do you mean, who doesn't like it? I don't see it as a spoiler, because it's just a letter. But I guess I never really thought about it as a spoiler. But how well do I understand the game? I don't know, chat, how well do I understand this game? From those of you who watch me relatively frequently. Because I still learn things every day. I don't know. It's a weird one to, this is a tile set, Petmoo. So, for those of you uninitiated, this is what the game looks like in vanilla. So this is what it would look like. All right, now it's a black screen. This is what it would look like if I was playing vanilla. This is the game without a tile set. Right? You know, you can see the dwarves, the wood, all the meat bits, the beautiful waves in the desert. This is it with a tile set. So I'm using a tile set. Do I use graphical tile sets? They're too busy and I don't see very well. So I tend to avoid them. Don't have anything against them, but they're a bit visually busy for me. So currently we are filling in this little structure that we have built for ourselves here, which is going to be the roof of our home. Because I don't know what kind of fun things are going to spawn. Looks like that experiment went away, but it's not the experiment that I'm actually afraid of. It's interesting having wild animal experiments because, well, that's some fun hunting to be done. Let's just put it that way. I still need to get underground farming up and running. Apparently, yeah, there is white sand over here. So I kind of have two options for farming. What do you guys think I should do? I could start digging down and go to caverns and farm. Or I could like dig diagonally and up and farm in this sand right here. I can do either, technically, without issue. Suspend those blocks. Unsuspend those beds. And I need a mechanic shop. All of this stuff hopefully will move. I always say that, oh, this area is temporary. This area is temporary, but it's never temporary. Caverns? The reason I'm hesitant on the caverns is because I do want to go down to caverns. I just don't know if I want to depend on caverns for farming because I'm kind of doing that in the weekend fort, right? Right? So it's kind of a undecided on that one. They're both underground. So I would actually say digging diagonally and farming in that sand area right there on the right, closer to the fort, would be both more convenient and safer. Digging down to the caverns would be far less safe. Caverns, sand too easy. I mean, have you seen how many towers? 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 in range. But I don't know, maybe. Maybe sand too easy. I do really like this biome though. It's pleasantly bleak. Cuz sometimes with oceans you get like these awkward right angles where like it'll generate in kind of a weird way and you'll just have like this weirdly like forked ocean, but that curve is actually really nice. Oh no, I'm out of coffee. Nope, game's saving. Which means it's summer. You've agreed with me? Okay, Sam. I'm just curious about how many dwarves we're going to get on our first migrant wave. This fort is on the moon. We do have trees. Bridgetown. We do have trees. They're all dead, though. They're dead, though, but we do have trees. What? Windows didn't like something I did. While I wait for this world to save. So saves are going to be really glacial. They're going to be absolutely glacial. Because of the size and age of this world. So you know those games? You know, like Bloodborne PS4 launch load times? I think we might give that a run for its money. Might even win. How old? It's 1050 biggest size. Took me almost 5 hours to generate it. I generated it during the Tarn Adams interview I did on the 1st. So it started generating about, I don't know, 10 minutes into the interview, and it didn't finish until 9 p.m. I started it at 3 p.m. So it was like 9:30 or something it finished. But it is summer now. And they're still working on that. What's this a link to? I don't know if you intended to link that, G Panta. Eripterus, hello. Hold up. Gotta do something in the background here. All right. Problem solved. My chickens really like your temples. So here's the thing with temples. Dwarves will, and any livestock will just kind of congregate on any meeting zone. So that's temple, tavern, library, guild hall. Any area that is designated as a meeting zone, dwarves will just congregate in. And they'll just kind of hang out. So it's not that they really like it, it's just that's how the AI is set up. They go about their business doing that. All right. So this is going to give us a bunch more space. So I'm just going to kind of dig out a bunch of this. Watch me like accidentally burrow into the ocean. I'm not going to say I've done that before, but I've maybe done that before. It's been a while though, since I accidentally burrowed into an ocean. More recently, I've intentionally burrowed into an ocean though. Does the world you generate end when your fortress is destroyed, or can you can start a new fortress in the same world and your dwarves can immigrate to the new world from the old world? Holy crap, what are those? Anchovies. There's a lot of fish here. Just had to deal with something on the Discord real quick. Sitting on an ottoman reading Necronomicon Coffee Table Edition. Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I would totally just have a book called... If I had a coffee table, I would totally buy a book with just the big titles Necronomicon on it. And salmon. And just put it on my coffee table. I would absolutely do that. So because the ocean drains once a year... Or not drains, but freezes for a good period of time once a year, I could very easily run out there and like dig out a chunk of it and prop some walls up on the inside. What if we made like a Moses defense? Actually, that wouldn't be too wise, because zombies would just like walk in through the ocean. What if, like, I made a Moses defense where I trap things in a box in the ice and then wait for the ice to freeze? Because I know water doesn't kill people, or water doesn't kill undead things, because undead things are immune to water. But what if undead thing freezes? Does it die then? Here, I'll just delete the one message for you, G Panta. I figured, because it was Magic the Gathering, right? I am very much a fan of natural organic design. That's beautiful. Red sand. for reference. Something along the lines of this. Or this. Probably more along the lines of this. Yeah, they've dug into sand, which is really cool. You enjoy a perfect square with just the right amount of tiles in everyone. I like perfect circles in Dwarf Fortress and intricate patterns, but I'm not a big fan of just squares. All right, so I need a lever. See how the dwarves are doing mentally. Annoyed at being out in the rain, having a drink without a goblet, cup, or mug. Yeah, okay, so I need a craft store shop anyway. Might as well get that started. Pink Fluffy, what jobs do you have? Nothing much. So Fluffy, for starters, you're going to be wood. I'm gonna give you wood crafting, stone crafting, and maybe weaving as well. You can make awesome colored glass with multiple kinds of sand. You can make crystal, clear, and green glass. But you need rock crystals for crystal glass and other things for other types of glass. Glass is one of those kind of weirdly complicated things. But you can do neat things with it if you try. Although, if you want really cool colored glass, you got to use gems and make gem glass. So migrants have arrived. So let's see what kind of migrants we get. Stubborn. Who was it who wanted dwarves now? It's open season now. Raise your hand in chat. Let's see just kind of an idea of how many we get. And I'm going to pause the game right before they get in, and we'll kind of go down the line. Oh, we got a necromancer. Kind of expecting that. Merle the Butcher. She is 72 years old. Actually, let's wait until everybody gets in here, and then I can be a little bit more specific. And if you guys want specific jobs, we can do that. Little interest in joking around, sense of duty, often acts with compassion, presents herself modestly. Determination and fuck it, yeah, no, we'll just toss people in as they come. Determination and confidence, and she deals with her accomplishments. She enjoys the company of others, is moved by art and natural beauty. She is troubled by this since she dislikes the natural world. She often feels discouraged, needs alcohol to get through the working day. You're a butcher by trade, but you like iron, wax, opal, wood, green glass, beak dog, leather. Beak dog leather? I guess the only good beak dog's a dead beak dog. Goblin mounts. Very common livestock of the goblin. So it's interesting that a dwarf would like beak dog anything, actually. She personally deeply dislikes competition and is a firm believer of the value of tradition. I guess she's that dwarf that starts organizing the holiday season like 6 months in advance, you know? It's like, well, holidays are coming up, and it's already the 15th of Cobalt, and everybody's like, guys, that's in 8 months. Why is there lights up already? Only 8 months, yeah. Christmas vibes, yep. Christmas in July. All right, Ripterus, welcome to the fortress. Currently, you have a decent spread of jobs, so we'll just kind of let you have that. Next dwarf here, Mendelf, you threw up a hand. I guess I just don't appreciate art. He is a dubious worshiper of, I think, the god of death? Yep, disease and death. Very popular god, too. In the late winter of 305, the dwarf necromancer lake basements, lake basements corrupted monster, the dwarf necromancer Utest page crowds in order to have someone to act for plots and schemes in plunge gears. The dwarf necromancer met with the dwarf necromancer Utest page crowds and played for sympathy by appealing to a shared worship of Negathon. The dwarf necromancer Ustith age crowds spurred the law and agreed willingly, despite the dwarf necromancer Ustith's page crowds' distinct distrust of the dwarf necromancer lake's basements. Very evil god. Very evil god indeed. Well, you seem like a good dwarf. You never feel lustful passions and don't go out of your way to help others. You tend to be positive in discussions and you try to do things correctly each time. We're also filming in a room with fairy lights, a rainy window, and a rainy window for like 2 hours. To use this for background. No. No. No, 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 no. So, although my neighbor is 2 floors up, Fog, have Christmas lights up year round, inside and outside of their apartment. I think they just really like fairy lights. Like, I don't think they ever turn their lights on in their apartment. It's like just fairy lights fucking everywhere. It's like glowy. It's hard to miss. Well, can we really judge if a deity is good or not? Disease and death. People constantly corrupting people in the name of this god. How about this? Deity is appropriately spooky for October. Doesn't go out of his way to help others. He has a greedy streak. He isn't particularly ambitious and has a tendency to consider ideas and abstractions over practical applications and does not tend to reveal personal information and does not easily hate or develop negative feelings. Welcome to the fortress, Mendel. You are a miller by trade, but I'm going to give you weaving, clothes making. Next dwarf in line is a doctor. So, old world, evil world, doctor shows up, has no other skills. Do you trust him? I don't know. Let's see. What are you? You're an adequate surgeon, adequate stitcher, adequate liar, adequate wordsmith, adequate writer, and poet. Novice reader. You know a lot of instruments. There's no way you're not a vampire. No fucking way. That's so many poetries and dances. I mean, I guess. Oh, I know. I guess what we're trying to say, Stone, is religion is evil. Wait, what? Or in Dwarf Fortress, religion can be used for evil regardless. Just like in real life. I like how this necromancer is a clerk. 147 years old. Dreams of ruling the world. Seems like the ambitious type. All right, does anybody want to be this totally not a vampire doctor? I think Spitalier raised his hand, so. She is 57 years old, born on the 2nd of Granite in the year 993. Who doesn't dream of ruling the world? Me. That sounds like a lot of fucking work. She likes conglomerate, bismuth bronze, tube agate, the color dark olive, 8-sided prisms, catapult parts, and the words of the skull of bone. I don't know what that is, but I like it. If you had to be a clerk, I mean, everybody has hobbies. Necromancers are just normal ass dwarves with weird hobbies. Hey, Warm Shadow, how are you? Imagine having to raise one child. Now, imagine having to raise Earth. Nah, I'm good. That being said, if David Attenborough wants to become president of Earth, I would let him. You're just waking up? Good morning. Me too. I'm still waking up, and I've been awake since... What time did I get up? Like 8:30? I didn't sleep much last night. I don't know how obvious it is, but I am exhausted. It's been an emotionally trying week for me for many personal reasons. But I don't know what the skull of bone is, but I like it. She has a tendency towards forming deep emotional bonds with others and tends to be a bit stubborn when changing her mind about things. Mood. Does not have a great aesthetic sensitivity and is conflicted by this as she values artwork and its creation. She is often cheerful and she finds helping others to be emotionally rewarding. She is quick to anger and doesn't handle stress well. Fuck. And she finds obligations confining, though she's conflicted by this for more than one reason. She needs alcohol to get through the working day. You wouldn't even want to run a hamlet? Yeah, I don't want to be mayor of my town, let alone rule the world. Now, dreaming of having unlimited money? That I've dreamt about. So this necromancer. She. Does anybody want to be a lady necromancer? Dwarf. 147 years old. 23rd of limestone. Year 36. Necromal. Sure, animal, you can have it. She has 6 children. How many deities do you have? You have a lot of former apprentices. You worship the deity of jewels and wealth, the deity of disease and death, the deity of earth and mountains, the deity of torture and misery. Oh boy. You have some interesting hobbies, my friend. Bit late, cutest ghost. But you have a lot of cousins, a lot of nieces, a lot of aunts. Her hair is clean shaven and she has a clear voice. Her ears are short and her hair is white. But you have none. Your skin is peach and her eyes are heliotrope. Heliotrope? Is it heliotrope or heliotrope? I think it's heliotrope. Do you feel lustful? We'll find out. Hopefully not. She likes Gabbro, Steel, and Sard. You'd love Long Death. Giant brown recluse, Spoider, Sulk, and Jute Paper. The color brass, gauntlets, backpacks, slabs. I wonder why. Animal traps and yaks for their shaggy hair. The sight of the couple of tweeting, and when possible prefers to consume gray parrot, buckwheat beer, maize flour, and absolutely can't frickin' stand jumping spoders. She personally does not respect the law, sees life as unfair and doesn't mind it that way, and doesn't see the attainment of knowledge as important, dreams of ruling the world. She never acts without prolonged deliberation, even to her own detriment and the harm of those around her. Hence why she became a vampire, to bring them back from the dead. She dislikes obligations and will try to avoid being bound by them. Though she values the concept of loyalty and is troubled by her natural tendencies. She is somewhat fearful in the face of imminent danger, and she likes to brawl. Doesn't mind wearing something special now and again, and thinks she is fairly important in the grand scheme of things. She is slow to anger and isn't given to flights of fancy. She tends to be a bit stubborn in changing her mind about things, and she tries to keep her things orderly. She has a greedy streak, and she tries to do things correctly each time. She enjoys the company of others, and she is quick to form negative views about things. She's currently more anxiety prone and currently more distrustful, and needs alcohol to get through the working day. That last bit is a bit of a mood. Someone just knocked on my door. I swear to Christ. Hold up.
Cheese for everyone!
Everything is fine. It's an Amazon package with something that I wasn't expecting today. I was expecting it tomorrow, but I ain't complaining. It's just outer sleeves for my records so I can keep them from getting damaged. Because I've got some vintage ones that I'd like to keep in better shape. So, Necromal, you're a clerk. What kind of skills you has? I'm surprised you're actually not legendary at anything. You're like adequate at best at most things. But you're a master persuader, high master negotiator, legendary judge of intent, legendary intimidator. Which means you get a bunch of jobs. Not chief medical dwarf. Novice organizer. Let's also make you into the broker. For the bookkeeper, you're going to have all accounts accurate. And let's see, is that everybody? Yay, it's not a named calf. I can just eat that. What animals did we bring that need to be et? Mendelf has a pet puppy! I don't know why I jumped the octave there, but Mendelf has a pet puppy. All right, let's go to this stockpile. Go hatch cover, table, throne. Everybody's still named. Got a few new arrivals. Yeah, we do have a new fortress. Wait, you only just realized that, Bing Fluffy? Yeah, so this is a This fortress is like kind of a, I'll do it like maybe 3 times, maybe 4 at most, between now and the end of October. And I'll probably play it a bunch on Halloween. But it's supposed to be Spook Fort. We're in Haunted Biome in Old World. Literal, well, that's the scariest thing we've seen today. Literally completely surrounded by towers. So there is a borderline unreasonable number of towers surrounding us. And we have this lovely, lovely, lovely ocean. Right here. And because it freezes for more than half the year, I want to do some fun stuff with it. No, I certainly didn't fail and start again. That would be awful if I had to fail and start again. No, Long Death is still alive and well. Those waves, those jellyfish. That's what those things in the middle of the screen are. Albatross and giant Kia. What is the red? It's red sand. There's red sand and white sand. White sand, red sand. White sand, red sand. White sand, red sand. It was also very, very, very snowy when we first got here. Up here, I'm going to go rock mug, and some nest boxes. And I'm going to put a zone down here and put the chickens down here for right now. Just kind of let the puppies go wherever. What's the limit on dwarf name length? You know, I've never actually looked. Let's go to custom profession name. That. Am I going nuts or was that louder than normal? Darren! Thank you very much for keeping that sub alive for 6 months. Welcome back. Here's dude. Seriously, thank you. Thanks a ton. Build out into the ocean and you can have an observation platforms to see the wildlife? Oh, you bet. I'm going to be digging under this ocean and digging into this ocean and through it. We're going to be popping out up here with a tower. Like, I'm going to build a tower out here, damn it. And it's just going to be awesome. Which means we need to have freaking stuff ready to go by the time bads show up. Hold on. I gotta remove all those floor bits right there. And continue working on this. Kept making loads of gem glass. I mean, I could just make normal glass. Don't need to make gem glass necessarily. Totally not a vampire, bro. It is gonna be your bookkeeper's new name. I mean, sometimes you gotta be a totally not vampire Chad bro, you know? Really? You were unaware that normal glass was a thing? Yeah, you can make green glass, clear glass, crystal glass. There's quite a few different options of glass. All right, so I'm going to... This is important for those of you who are newer to the game. I'm going to make myself a seed stockpile. So the way you do this is you hit P, hit F, select an area that you want to be there, then hit Q, hit S to select it. Then we're going to go in here, and I'm going to shut off everything except for seeds. Then I'm going to hit Shift and E to shut off barrels. I'm going to go back to my main stockpile down here. I'm going to go into the food and shut off seeds. So I'm going to take all the seeds out of here. Same with down here, because there's food turned on this one too. You figured out specifying items on your own? Congrats! That's an important task to get done. All right, I need a chair/throne. An animal can have that chair. Is going to go update our stockpile supply records. Also, our puppy has grown to become a dog. All right, so now there's a seed stockpile full of bags. The reason you want them to be in bags and not barrels is because there's a bug where if stuff's in a barrel, they can only take the top item off, but if stuff's in a bag, they can take any item out. So you'll save yourself a lot of headaches. I'm gonna make me a farm plot. So I don't know how many dwarves we're gonna end up with, so I'll just, we'll do 2. But, probably only I'm gonna actually use one of them. I'm assuming I have a dwarf set to farming. I don't actually know. We'll see. Puppies grow into cats, though? True story, growing up, I had we had a cat named Papageno, and we all just called him Puppy. So growing up, I had a cat that we called Puppy, which didn't confuse people at all. It was a good time. Place my nest boxes up here. I'm actually going to move my chickens up here. As clear as that glass. That's for sure. Also, I haven't said thank you enough today, so to everybody who's hanging out and watching me play Dwarfs, congratulations. You probably found one of the strangest streams on this website they call Twitch. Thank you very much for hanging out. And thanks for dealing with me. I know I ain't perfect. Try my best, though. And there they go, laying eggs. Let's get a few more nest boxes in here. Nest boxes are made out of a material and a crafter of that specific material. No joke, Pink Fluffy. The first time I read that as your streams are shit. And you know what? I agree. Thank you, though. All right, so I got this lever built down here. I'm going to hook it up to the drawbridge that I put at the front door. And I can't, because I don't have enough mechanisms. I thought I queued up more than one. What? I guess not. There we go. Got a few more now. I mean, I have terrible taste. I can tell you that. I have a brilliant idea. We need to make a lighthouse. That's my goal for this fort. Make a tower in the middle of the ocean and pump lava up to it. That's what we're doing. Is this fort in any of my existing worlds? This fort is part of a world that I generated when I was talking to Tarn. So this is a brand new world for us, exploration-wise. So this fort is fresh, in a fresh new world. But what I want to do with this world, and I have kind of been feeling about this way ever since I generated it, is I want it to be, well, I mean, just look at this thing. It's the biggest size, and it's one continent. Look at this scale of this fucking thing. It's massive. Absolutely massive. So it's huge. And it's one continent. Also, check out that evil ocean. Whew. And it's got so many, like, massive mountain ranges, you know, instead of just, like, little sprinkles of mountains around places, like, it's genuinely got massive mountain ranges. And we are right here. Tiny little fort surrounded by 5 towers. I think 3 of them are actively in range. What's wrong with Katy Perry? Hello, Arch. I might have to pick your brain a little bit later, because you're a better people person than me. Or at least I think of you as a more people person than me. Red sandcastles? You know what's I have, I don't want to say this is an irrational fear because that's not quite true. I have a mild fear of sandcastles. True story. You want to know why I have a mild fear of sandcastles? The reason I have a mild fear of sandcastles is when I was young, my little sister was making a sandcastle. And this was at my grandma's house. She lives on beach property. And we were at one of the beaches that was close to my grandma's house. My little sister was making the sandcastle. I also was making a sandcastle. And we built them down way where the tide would go out. So the tide would go out and there's all this empty, open sand. And we'd spend the day building sandcastles. And we'd build big walls. And then eventually the tide would come in and like wash down our sandcastles. And it was beautiful, right? But yeah, you can't actually make sandcastles. You can just make glass out of it. But it would be awesome if you could get sand blocks. Anyway, you can make clay castles. Kind of close. Anyway, the tide was coming in, and I kicked down my sandcastle as it was finishing, or as the waves were coming over it, because it was at the end. And I asked my little sister if I could kick her sandcastle down as the wave came in. She kind of shrugged and said, yeah. Wave comes over her castle's wall, flows into the moat, and, you know, we're doing the little thing, and it starts to fall over, and I kicked the sandcastle, and there's a rock in the middle of it, sprained every single toe on my right foot. I still get cramps in that foot to this day because of that injury. I was like, I don't know, 8 or 9. I was a little kid. What's even funnier was my dad just kind of made fun of me as I like limped back to the car. It's like, you shouldn't have kicked your little sister's sandcastle. I'm like, I didn't know she built it that well. Like, come on. Right? It was defended against attacks. I mean, it's hilarious in hindsight, but my foot still hurts to this day sometimes. That was like at almost 20 years ago. So, moral of the story is, chat, don't kick your little sister's sandcastle because she's got it rigged. Does DF have tides? I don't think it has tides, but it does certainly have waves. It certainly has waves. Tides would be news to me. I don't think so. Kick your little sister instead? See, that would have just gotten me in trouble at the time, but wouldn't have caused any long-term damage to me. It may have caused long-term damage to me and my little sister's relationship, which would be terrible. Me and my little sister get along very well. And maybe one day I'll convince her to stream. She's a very talented violinist. Maybe one day I could convince her to stream. Throw your little sister into the castle. What, and siege the castle? See if anybody has any dueling jobs signed. Animal, I'm going to give you jewelry tasks as a side gig. You need some... Necromancers need something to do, you know? So I'm curious about what time of year the... when exactly the ocean's going to melt. Because late spring is when it thawed. Because I'm going to put my bedrooms underneath that. By ruining many gems? I mean, you got to start somewhere. I'm also going to go out here and claim all of this wood. What is that? Nothing. It's not blue. Giant ravens. This is a new fortress. Yeah, this is a new fortress for Halloween. So it's kind of like a Halloween special. I'm not going to do a ton of this. This fortress is just something that I'm going to do for kind of a... like a Halloween special. Is that a necro in my fort? That is a necro in my fort. He seems like a pretty chill bloke, frankly. Or she seems like a pretty chill bloke. She's quite happy at work. She's enraptured, remembering communing with her god. Communing with Sethal, the gloom of horror. She was contemptuous after getting into an argument, though. She was enraptured, remembering communing with the bronze. Felt wonder after communing with Nethgun. Nethgan? Nithgan. Nithgan? Nithgan? I don't. They will sleep under the waves. Mm-hmm. Something like that, yeah. You nailed it. There's nothing that can be linked up yet. I mean, necromancers are just dwarves with weird hobbies, okay? Like, why people hate on the necromancers? Necromancers are just... they're not vampires. Vampires are dangerous. Necromancers are just normal-ass dwarves that don't like dying. That's relatable. In any time period. Fort seems to be progressing nicely. Yep, and I have a goal. We're going to build a lighthouse in the middle of the ocean. That's the goal. I'm going to build a lighthouse in the ocean. What gives off light? Molten rock. I don't even know how deep I need to go for molten rock. Should probably look how deep the lava is. Although we are at sea level, so it can't be that deep. It's not like we're on a... I mean, it's not like we're in the middle of the mountains or anything. That being said, we already had a necromancer's experiment show up. Fortunately for us, it was just a wild animal, but it wasn't some, and it didn't like be some crazy little fuck and just fly into the middle of us and attack us or anything. It was just a wild animal, just a chill wild animal. It seemed to be a creepy goblin with thin wings of stretched skin. I mean, I could. Once we have magma, options are not endless, but there's a lot more options once we have magma, right? I mean, it's been 3 months and I haven't been attacked yet, and I've got all my defenses set up, so... Well, not defenses, but I can lock the door, which is what matters. See, I have a door that be lockable, so... doesn't matter if we get attacked. It's a matter of when we get attacked. Because we do have, you know, 5-ish necromancer towers that are probably in range. I can't actually remember. I know for a fact 3 of them are in range. I can't remember. I don't know if the other 2 are. What the frick was that? Wait, hold on. Do ravens dive into the ocean? Because I just saw a capital R underwater for a second. Do they dive into the ocean to eat vermin? That's wild if that's the case. Ravens do swoop and dive at times? Really? I know very little about birds, which is a little bit embarrassing. By the way, to anybody who's wondering about these ocean creatures, these guys, bat rays, little white things are mackerels. If they're red, they're salmon. We've got flounders. I think these are, yeah, herrings. And if you see little circular statues swimming around, well, those are jellyfish. Looks like our first garden is up and running. And we have some dwarves dancing. Since we're new to this world, we should obviously have a look. City, Nothing Can Say, is an example of the saffron verse. The work has no particular subject, and the lyrics for the composer has selected inferior children. Okay. The saffron verse is a form of music for entertainment originating in the aching curses. The rules of the former are applied by composers to produce individual pieces of music, which can be performed by a chanter who recites any composition of the pieces of music, which can be performed. A chanter recites any composition of music by the sparkles of meandering. Okay. Inferior children. Google says yes. I like how Google just like confirm. Can Google confirmeth? The great God Google. Here's the thing. You said jackdaw is a crow in the same family. Yes. No one's arguing that. No scientist who studies crows. I'm telling you specifically the science is no one calls jackdaws crows. If you want to be specific, then... Wait, what? Crow family, then you're referring to the taxonomic group of... Is this like a copy pasta that I'm unaware of, Chubanta? The dwarves are chanting and simulating instruments. Old school copy pasta? Okay. Cool. Here's the thing, right? I consider myself somebody who knows a lot about Reddit culture, so when people plop a copy pasta that I haven't seen, I'm generally kind of impressed. All right, the Outpost Liaison Cole has arrived. Oh, it's a dwarf. Kind of disappointed. You have an inspiration. What form of inspiration? Fey mood? Fell mood? Possession? What items do you seek? Maybe you should grab some Lego. Very helpful for artifacts. But no, seriously, I'm glad I'm inspiring you. I don't know. I don't know why I inspire people. I generally just scare people away because they think I'm a horrible person. But, you know, if I inspire you to do something, that's good. As long as it's a positive thing. I'm overthinking this. Cool? If they're simulating instruments, I always imagine it's like, if they're simulating instruments, they're like, in my opinion, simulating an instrument is the equivalent of like tapping on your legs, you know, like making your chest into drums or something, right? I don't know. Or like doing air guitar and making weird sounds with your mouth. Here come the wagons. I don't really have anything to trade. I mean, I guess I could sell him some meats. Could sell him some logs. Oh, actually, no. I have some cut gems. We can sell him some gems. My name is Cole. I am your liaison from the mountain homes. Let's discuss your situation. There is much to share since you left. We have updated your maps. What requests do you have of our merchants? Situation. Salty. Wet. There was a weird flying goblin. Not much else has happened. I'm going to ask them to bring me anvils. That's it for right now, because I don't know what I'm going to need yet. I'm also going to ask them to bring me leather? I don't know how common leather is going to be. Well, then we have finalized the import agreement. Feel free to go over the documents. Let's discuss what we are willing to offer you for your craftsdwarf ship. We finalized the export agreement. They want crossbows, swords, anvils, cheese, splints, cloth, quivers, goblets, footwear, toys. I can't really do any of those except for toys. Currently, excuse me. I look forward to our meeting next year. Our fortunes rise and fall together. I don't know why I'm doing that weird Gandalf the Grey voice. Sell them bags of sand. But I don't know how much leather I'm going to have, so nah. Gundorf the Glue? I'm going to start a company, okay, called Gundorf the Glue, and it's going to be a glue gun company. We're going to make the best glue guns. Also, there's some things happening. So in the early spring of 1050, Kasul Bewitched Shells became the expedition leader of the Circumstantial Days. Looks like many fortresses are being reclaimed. That's what all of these blue lines are. So whatever is going on with our faction, many places are being reclaimed. Also, lots of dwarves must be dying because many people are replacing their expedition leaders and mayors. Fortunately, Glue Gun Glumpany. Glue Glun Glumpany. We're going to glump all your glue onto your gluing things that need gluing. And we're gonna summon Necromal up here to do necromancy things. Yeah, it'll help you into sticky situations. Cannot guarantee the removal of sticky situations. So if you want to be removed from a sticky situation, then you'll have to get the glun, glue, glun, glumpany, degluer. Sold separately. I'm going to trade that for a piece of glass, which actually, no, I can't even do that. A piece of clear glass, raw clear glass. Okay, so one piece of glass for a bunch of gems. I ripped myself off, but that's fine. I needed to trade them something. I'm waiting for the ocean to freeze again. I want to know what year it freezes. And then we start digging. Actually, you know what? How about I designate this? Loberin! Thank you for gifting a subscription to Trumpet Dog. Thank you very much. Trumpet, enjoy the ad-free viewing, which is honestly the best part of being subscribed to a Twitch channel. And thank you. Welcome to the stream proper, Loberin. How did you find the channel, if I can ask? Because I don't believe I've seen you until today. But hello. I'm one of the 2 people streaming DF. Who's the other one? Someone I don't know, actually. There's quite a few people who do stream DF. A lot of good people have started streaming this game as of late. It's been really nice to see. So I'll just let them dig until they hit... Well, I'll actually just let them dig the stairs out, but this will go much quicker once we're... You actually searched people streaming Dwarf Fort and my thumbnail, and I had a nice smile, so you clicked on it. The smile is deceiving. But thank you. It's when a human smiles, it's just to hide the pain behind it. You know, I don't normally do this. But I'm actually going to make a symmetrical object. I know, it's weird, right? Smiles are banned? That's not totally true. Annoying smiles are banned. But ketchup is illegal. Too bad the red sandstone isn't available for building. Oh, is there some other material I could use to make it red and white? I don't know, but why does a dwarven... But regardless, though, thank you very much for gifting the sub, and welcome to the stream proper. It's good to have people around. Why would a dwarven lighthouse need to be red and white? That sounds very human to me. What if a dwarven lighthouse is a tall spindle of brown? I don't know. All right, so we'll let them start digging that out. Those are going to be our bedrooms. But they're not going to get very far. We'll let them dig until they hit the water. Petrified wood and cinnabar. Trying to think if those... those are more of a burgundy on my colorings. But yeah. I mean, I think blue would... or green would be much more plausible. And the light is the blood of the earth? I mean, it's probably going to end up being the same color as this little structure, right? Something like that, most likely. They're actually making it much further than I thought they would. Where is the ocean? Okay, so they're about to hit it. We're going to get a bunch of auto pauses when they start hitting the ocean. There it goes. Digging designation, canceled, damp stone located. God, damp stone. That's a terrible joke. Like the most dwarfy possible lighthouse? Oh, totally. And, like, it'll be a project, but it'll be a project that I can reasonably get done before the end of October. Because that's kind of the main goal, is I want to get this fort done by the end of October, right? What is done? Well, this is supposed to be kind of a Halloween special. As far as the what is done question goes, there's a few new people in the stream right now, so I'll just say this. I've started working on a fortress that I'm trying to keep alive for 1,000 years. I've been working on it for over a month now, and it's gonna take a while. Done is me unleashing the puke blob on my cheesemakers because I'm bored. Yeah, who knew, right, Quatch? I mean, I don't know. I was initially, like, kind of planning on making a very dark fortress and then suiciding it for Halloween, but I don't actually know what I want to do with it. Or how we'll end this fort. Don't really have a hardline plan or anything. Archcrystal took years to play out. Yeah, but I've talked to Seth about that, and he says that he wasn't playing consistently, right? See, the difference between me and Archcrystal is I don't go outside, and this is my full-time job. It's a bit of an unfair advantage. You know, it's funny, Pink, because people get weirdly, not weirdly, but like superstitious about the payouts on the ticket gambling thing in the chat. Like, I had someone who for ages swore that the only way that they could win ever is if they bet 66. 66. Only 66 would win. Nothing else. Only 66. 66 was the only number that would ever win. Which I think is hilarious. Badoom? What? Oh, there we go. What day is it? 5th of Sandstone, mid-autumn. Would you look at that? The waves are still working on it. Oh, that's interesting. Hold on. I guess, like, the bit of water that landed is just drying now? An ocean wave, really now. Well. 5th of Sandstone, eh? You thought investments were open? Pretty sure they're not. They literally just closed. You're all good though. Yeah, and then for some people, they just swear that the bot just doesn't like them or something. And then they will never win. I'm gonna do 2 across the center here. All the way up to here. And then this will be higher priority. So I want to get this done. Although... how do I want to do this? That was a script. Let's do this fun mode. You guys want to do this fun mode? I want to do this fun mode. You know, caution to the fucking wind, am I right? Caution to the fucking wind. You have to bribe the bot. If bot not friend, bot no like. No superstition on your end, just RNG. That is very much the actual reality of it. So I'm going to build a lever back here. So what we're going to do is I'm going to put a support in the middle of this. And then I'm going to channel around the top. And then the second level. And then I'm just going to cave the goddamn thing in. Said never said caution to the wind because it will blow back on your leg. I have 5 necromancer towers in walking distance from my fortress, just less than a day's walk away. Bit late for that, sir. Just saying. Just saying. It has Python plugins. I'm not sure what language it's just written in. All right, so let's put 2 supports in there. Smooth this. Okay, pray to Sethal, the gloom of horror. You know, Animal, I need you to take a break from talking to your very interesting and eclectic gods and go smooth some floors for me, please. Is Circe business? I mean, you know it. Why? Why'd you suspend the construction of a rough shale pillar? Perhaps there was a boulder in the way? And some migrants have arrived. Whoa, what that? There's a skunk! There's a skunk on the map. Wait until you see the giant skunks. They're the real scary ones. A horse and a llama. Delicious. We'll name all these dwarves in a minute. Jesus, that's a big one. That's not too bad, actually. Never mind. 21 dwarves. Yes. Well, that one is not pink or fluffy. But it is indeed a llama. All right. Methinks it's time to build military. So let's take a peek at these dwarves real quick. This armor is new. I could use an armor. Scatterbrained, intellectually stubborn, and rarely changes his mind during a debate regardless of its merits. Dour is a rule, and he is conflicted by this as he values parties and merrymaking in the abstract. Tries to do things correctly each time, and he has an active sense of humor. Tends to do things... Or no, he only tends to form tenuous emotional bonds with others because he finds himself quite hopeful about the future. Slow to anger and can sometimes act without deliberation. Does this sound like you? Do you want this dwarf chat? 59 years old! Born on the 8th of Hematite in the year 991. Sideburns, clean shaven, very long mustache, double braids as they should be. Extraordinarily broad ears. Hair is raw umber. Interesting. Teeth are gaped, his skin is peach. No, that's elephant meal. Oh, orc hours. Never mind. I read that as rock. My bad, trash battery. Warm shadow. Now, just remember, these aren't sub-only or anything, so if you want dwarf, it's more or less first come, first serve. You worship the deity of Kurlig, associated with fortresses, and takes the form of a female Dwarf. I can give you the next one, Balor. These will be pretty quick reads, though, because there's a lot. Alinor. He feels satisfied after getting into an argument. Mood! I got into an argument with Mendelf. That was satisfying. Nothing better than a good argument and good debate. Especially when no one gets a nose borked. Doesn't like getting caught in the rain and feels pleasure of remembering a fine depot. Also, female dwarf associated with fort. Personally sees merrymaking as a waste. Thinks friendship is important and doesn't think one way or another about leisure time at all. Also, there's something way too funny about the eyes emoji. Eyes emoji, you're eating me. He generally doesn't think before acting. I mean, Llama, let me ask you a question. What's worse, getting eaten or being forced to starve to death? Because I have literally no way of feeding livestock right now. So any pasturing livestock that needs to be pastured by pasturing will just die. Doesn't generally think before acting, is somewhat quarrelsome, bothered by this as he values friendship. He has a noticeable lack of perseverance. You like Lemonite, black bronze, bat ray leather. Giant blue jay bone. Well, you're a clother. I will need clothers. Next dwarf. Let's give this one to Trumpet Dog. You have your deity is the Bolts of Fortune. It's a male dwarf associated with gems and wealth. 79 years old, born on the 25th of Obsidian in the year 971. Radioactive meat would be glowy. You like bauxite, nickel, silver, and shell opal. Personally, deeply respects eloquent speakers and thinks introspection is valueless. Whoa. And those that waste time in self-examination are deluded fools. Now that I don't agree with. I don't like this dwarf at all. Self-examinate. Try and make yourself better. Realizing your mistakes is first step to recovery. Could all probably use a bit of that. Sees those who that attempt to maintain dignified and proper behavior as vain and offensive. Values cunning. Dreams of crafting a masterwork someday. Sirelac, how thing be? Almost never feels discouraged. Is very impolite and inconsiderate of property. He has a great trouble mastering fear when confronted by danger. He doesn't cling tightly to ideas and is open to changing his mind. He does not easily hate or develop negative feelings. He is trusting and doesn't often feel envious of others. He tends to hang on to grievances and is often nervous. He is curious and eager to learn, and he is swayed by the emotions of others. He occasionally overindulges, and he is not particularly interested in what others think of him. He mutters under his breath when he's thinking, and he tenses up when he's nervous. He scratches his head when he's bored and needs alcohol to get through the working day. On boss's dad's bear. Okay, so I'm going to read this sentence out loud. Worked on boss's dad's bear today. Didn't screw it up. I know exactly what you mean, and that sentence only makes logical sense knowing what you do for a living. Otherwise, that is a very strange sentence to read. But it's a good thing that you didn't screw it up. That would be a bad one to screw up. How much of it are you taxidermizing? The whole thing? Or, like, what are you doing to it? 'Cause that's... Bears are big. Like, yo, I grew up around... Bears are big. What would radioactivity change flavor? So I actually watched a documentary on this recently. Due to all of the nuclear testing, all of our food is slightly radioactive. And because of the radioactivity of... because we have an exact record of when America was testing their nukes in the deserts, we actually have like exact dates as to when those nukes were fired off. So the ability to have a perfect carbon record of DNA is actually helped by the radioactivity that we shot into the atmosphere. It's kind of fucking fascinating. I'm not smart enough to like recycle this information to you, but it's actually fucking fascinating. Yeah, it's almost useless. Because we've almost run out of nuclear waste in our DNA. What? No, it was on a Curiosity stream, a platform that I was paid to promote almost a year and a half ago. Almost a year ago. But welcome to the Fortress, Trumpet Dog. You have kind of a military-ish mindset, so I'm going to stick you in the military. Next one is a leather worker. Who wants a leather worker? Actually, you know what? I'm not even going to ask. Sirelac. Because you work on leather. She is a worshiper of Sethel, the doom of horror. Very kind, giving god of male dwarf associated with torture and misery. Thanks, Brahms. Is hemp farmer position available? Farmers, yes. There is no hemp on this map, so no. She has a narrow chin, and her teeth are widely spaced. This is definitely the Hollow Knight soundtrack. I needed something somber and chill, so this is somber and chill. Personally finds those that develop skills with weapons and fighting distasteful. Sees perseverance in the face of adversity as bullheaded and foolish, and is slow to anger and enjoys the company of others. And tends to be swayed by the emotions of others and needs alcohol to get through the working day. And I'm I'm gonna make a leatherworks down here. I'm just assuming you're gonna go make that once you get into the fort. For a very split second there, I thought there was a dead dog in the fort, but that wasn't a dead dog. What jobs do you have assigned, leatherworker? Leatherworking. Okay. I'm also going to give you tanning. Don't need any damn fish cleaners, so we should rejob you. Can easily fall in love. Quite confident in her abilities. Okay, you can just join the military. Let's turn the military on. Pop into here. Rock, armor, stand 1. Rock, rack 5. All right, so those 2 support beams are done. I'm going to add a new task. And one is support beam. Link to a support lowercase s. All right, so now what we need to do, put 2 doors in here. That's not what I wanted to do, but that's what I wanted to do. I think that's it. Are loyalty cascades a still thing? They can be. You're just used to sitting in the queue menu. I'm used to using the queue menu on anything that I build in the appropriate workshop. Wait, how did you just do the thing where I order things like that? So if you hit N and you have a manager, manager can be any dwarf in your fortress. Then you hit U, M, Q, right? And type in the item you want them to make. So let's just say I need a table. I need it made of wood. I need 25 of them, or 29 of them. And if I go here and select the job, and then I hit D, and I want it made, I want them made out of plum wood. There you go. And now what'll happen, if that manager, that specific dwarf, has a chair assigned to them, so just like you assign a dwarf to a bed, you hit Q, select the bed, and assign it to the dwarf. If your manager has a chair assigned to them, they will then run to their chair and do some paperwork and send out the orders, and your dwarf will be like, what the fuck? Why do you want me to make a table out of wood? I don't know why I was looking at a watch, but what the fuck? Why do you want me to make a table out of wood? And then they'll run over and start making tables out of wood and be like, God damn, this manager's gone batshit. And obviously, I don't want to be an idiot and make tables out of wood, so I will simply remove that. But right now, our necromancer is too busy working on walls, so I'm actually just going to take him off of that job, and he's going to finish detailing this wall. There you go. He's gonna manage work orders. Run over to the table that I made for him, and boop, done. Now if I go to U M, they now say they're green over on that far side up there, not the cartoon, but like right where it says validated over on the far right. The jobs are confirmed, and Dwarf, go do that now. It's in the vanilla game. This is not a fancy addition to the game or anything. It's just Dwarf Fort. Now I got to do a thing over here before I forget. So if I seem a little distracted, it's because I have to go to the doctor's office today to drop off a buttload of paperwork, and then pay them a bunch of money so that they'll file the paperwork. And they close at 4. I normally stream for like 8 to 10 hours a day, but today's stream is gonna unfortunately be, or have to be, shorter. Actually, another thing I could do. Wood, great. 1. I have a reason for that. Dick drawings everywhere? Okay, so if you engraved an image of a donkey, a custom image of a donkey, which you could do, a custom image of any insect, a custom image of a cat or cow. A cow would be capital. A custom image of a giant Kia and a custom image of a giant snake, and it would spell dicks. And you could just write dicks on all of your walls. If you really were so inclined for one reason or another. Before I do anything else, I'm going to need to build a wall into this. Although the best dumb thing like that I ever had happen was I had a dwarf, or I was, doubling this up now. I had a little arena that I built for beasties and prisoners that we had, and a beak dog died next to a human, died next to a troll, died next to a cave toad, died next to a giant spider, and it's spelled butts. Totally unintended. Never even thought that might happen. Happened. That's the loudest belly laugh I've ever had playing this game. We sat there and giggled for a good long while. Actually, I need wood grate. I need 2 wood grates. All right, so these are going to be made out of shale blocks. I hope I have enough. I mean, supposedly I have no shale, so this should be fine, right? This needs to be done before the water thaws. So we got to be quick about this. What was even better about the butts situation was I didn't even notice it initially. Chat did. So chat just started laughing, and I was like, wait, what? Like, I was kind of oblivious to it. So I could actually build things out of this ice too, but it will melt when the seasons change. So I think I'm actually building this on rock down here. I think that's how that works. I thought that you made floor grates. Oh, no, they haven't. That skunk over there is scared. We are on a frozen sea, yes. So this is a kind of a short series that I'm doing. This is a sinister biome. We've had some freaky creatures show up already, and the whole point of this fort is I want to build a lighthouse in the ocean. And this is a haunted ocean, by the way. So I'm doing some shenanigans, or we're getting into some shenanigans, I guess. So yes, this is a frozen ocean. We're in late autumn. It shouldn't thaw, keyword, until late spring. So we have lots of time. But yeah, I'm going to be playing this for a couple times a week from now until Halloween, and releasing all the VODs on YouTube right around Halloween as kind of a spook special, you know? While I'm still working. I mean, aren't you all just waiting for the ice to thaw to laugh at me? You haven't done an Evil Haunted? It's not as spooky as I was hoping. The only really weird thing we've had happen was there was a necromancer experiment just fucking flying around earlier. The hell was that? Oh, probably that I saw the osprey. For the light gem windows? What's glowy red and is found in a dwarven basement? That's what we're going to use for the lighthouse. Magma spiders? Yeah, magma. So, I haven't even looked at how deep this biome is yet, but let's find out. Oh, not too bad. 127. So, I'll probably need to go like 120 layers. Yeah, supposedly we have deep and shallow metals, so hopefully we can find iron. No, that's the other fort. The one where we have a portal to hell. That's a different fort. So to be clear, right now I have 3 forts running concurrently. There's this one, which is recent. There's my community world, which is a publicly downloadable save file, which you can get on my Discord over in the Dwarf Fortress room if you want. It's just the most recent Google Drive link. And that world, we are kind of working together as a crew to discover little secrets. I also do videos on it from time to time. There's a little lore video in the chat, which is funded on my Patreon, featuring art by Cooler SK, who does all the art for my streams. Then there's the me trying to put DF commands into Twitch chat, which isn't going to work too well. Then there's the 1,000-year fort called Long Death, which is me being a idiot and trying to keep a fortress alive for 1,000 years, which is a lot of waiting and just hanging out and talking while the dwarves do things and occasionally get married, and we go, aw, because I'm way too attached to all of those dwarves. And now there's this one, which is going to hopefully end before the month ends. Otherwise, that'd be weird if we kind of continued the Halloween fort into the, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the only way to really do a fort like Long Death, right? Is I'm going to have to do other things to keep her fresh, right? Also, King, how'd you do? Good to see you. I don't know if you saw the obligatory nostalgia post on Discord that Cyclone put up yesterday, but it gave me the warm and fuzzies, not gonna lie. All right. Okay, he's working on those weapon racks now. Went hiking this weekend because weather was nice enough to do it, so out of shape. I hope it was a good hike. I hope I'm able to fix my knee by next year so I can do that too. So I'm going to... Yeah, hopefully dwarves can do this. It should be fine. Late autumn. This is going way faster than I expected. Probably don't need to do this the hyper dumb way that I'm doing it. Is there a door there? Let's just put a stone stockpile in the middle of this. And hopefully someone happens to remove the one from that doorway. How come no one has made that floor grate yet? Maybe it's because they're made of wood. Rock grate 2. You have a good night, animal. Is shale magma safe? We'll figure that out. I'm not entirely certain what we're gonna use for it, but we'll figure that out when we get there, yeah. Having miners canceling the job, but that's fine. It's because I kind of dug out all the ways in. I just need a specific boulder moved out. Garbage dump. And wood wheelbarrow 3. Wood bed. No, I'm not just bed. 20. I'm gonna need them. There we go. All right, Quatch, I need you to work on that grate. Winter is upon us, and the long save continues. I'm very, very much expecting it to just be like, a vile force of darkness has arrived. You're going to be getting your second monitor and TV. Ooh! Do you know what monitor you're getting, Dragman? Also, is this a picture of the bear, Cyberline? Oh, wow. I'm assuming I can show this because you posted it on Discord, yeah? But check this out. That's a big bear, man. Fucking wow. Also, I'm an ass. Ask if I could show it as I'm hitting the button. But that's cool. That's a big one. Or at least, bears are just big in general. So, it looks big. I don't know if it's actually big by bear standards, but by my standards, it definitely a bear. A very good example of a big bear boy. I don't know. Is it a boy or a girl? Was it a boy or a girl? If it was not streamable? Okay, gotcha. Glad to know I know the distinction now. We have puppies. Delicious. Okay. So I'm going to forbid both of these doors. Okay? I'm just assuming both of these are hooked up. That one is, and that one is. Perfect. And, why hasn't they made the grate yet? Okay, we're making the grate. It's $90 and we'll also let you watch anime while you video game. Or me while you... I mean, I guess I'm basically an anime. Like, come on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that grate across them because grates don't hold things up. It'll allow the whole thing to fall. And what I'm going to do once the last bit of that stuff at the bottom there is dug out, I can just pull a lever and the whole thing will cave in rather than having to, you know, dig the whole thing out. Because this is a much easier, I guess, method of making stuff go away in this instance. Hopefully no dwarves go splat on the ground. They might, but it's only 1Z level if they do, so. Who likes cave-ins? I want to look up. Because it's about to go. All right. Let's seal this side off. Oh, look, the snow's coming. Oh, and there's 2 dwarves in there. Guys, just get out of there. Come on. Ya big dumbs. Oi, you too. I love how not 1, not 2, but 3 ended up in the bottom of it. Okay. All right. Door is forbidden. And pull the lever. Funk. Huh. That wasn't really what I was expecting that to do. Why is this considered open space? I was expecting the ice to, like, shatter. Interesting. The ice expanded? That's a thing. No, that's mud. It's from some of the ice melting. That was not at all what I was expecting to happen. Huh. That's interesting. Like, it just expanded. Weird. Where do you post a picture of your current setup? PC Builders chat on Discord. Yeah, that's bizarre. I was not expecting that to go that way. But that's all gonna melt now, which means I might as well just dig it all out then. If I can't do if I, wait, what? Okay, this is some weird shenanigans. It did create a hole? But there's still ice there. So this is apparently a hole. But the hole beneath it didn't actually get punched through? So I can't actually dig into it. I don't know what that did. But I think we broke Dwarf Fortress. Although we have a big problem. I have to go to the doctor's office. I have to leave in 10 minutes. Bit of a cliffhanger. No, 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 no! 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 What's the problem? So here's what happened. I'll run over it for you, Cooler. I have an ocean. Okay? An ocean that freezes. Okay? I put 2 supports here because it would be more fun than just channeling the ocean out, right? Went up here, channeled out around the edge of the ocean, down to rock, through rock, and into my fort. Pulled the lever, dropped out the 2 supports, and the ice up top didn't move, the ice in the middle didn't move, and then the space at the bottom became an open space and exposed shale beneath it. So I have floating ice? Yeah, don't run off just yet, Lobo. We'll be... We got a minute or 2 left. But, like... I don't know. So I've created hovering ice. I've never seen open space with a white outline before. Maybe? I don't know. I've never tried to cave in an ocean. I've drained oceans. I've never caved in a frozen ocean. But, you know, maybe we'll be doing this fort tomorrow too. I'm sure it'll melt, but like... Weird. Weird. So, to those of you who are new here, because kind of a large number of new people I've never seen before piled in. Hi, Hobo. I gotta go to the doctor's office, so stream's ending. I realize you just got here, but it's unfortunate that I have to go do that. Which is why I streamed for 12 hours yesterday. I might do something later tonight. It wouldn't be Dwarf for it, though. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll do something on the YouTubes. But, yeah, that's what I need to do, is just... We'll see what happens. I'm gonna leave those doors locked and see what happens. But, Hobo, I hope you're doing well. Any open water space in the ocean gets filled with water? Oh, really? Huh. I've reclaimed volcano forts and had overflowing volcanoes, but like, you know, it's not actually a doctor's appointment or anything exciting. It's literally just I'm going there to give them paperwork and pay them to file the paperwork. That's it. And then I'm coming home. So I just have to go like hand them an envelope and walk back, but I have to do it in person while they're open, which is between the hours of 9 and 4 p.m. I stream like 9 to 7. Anyway, so I'll be on tomorrow. We'll either be doing this fortress or Long Death. Really depends on how I'm feeling. That was so weird. I might do this, but we'll see. Regardless, this has been a spooky Halloween special fort. But yeah, thank you for spending time with me, watching the stream. If you want to support my shenanigans directly, I have a Patreon. It's what keeps me stable, and that's how you type. It's what keeps me stable and allows me to pay Cooler for cool arts for these videos. If you want to buy stuff, I have socks for sale. They have skulls on them. Also some stickers and other things. So if you, I don't know, want to buy socks, you could do that. Because people asked me to make merch. So I brought back a lot of old merch from old stores previous and added some new stuff. Like skull socks, which is why I am become humble sock seller. Please buy my socks. Just be happy they don't have my face on them. Well, actually, it might be my face on them, but in skull form. We're going to go host somebody. I'll be on tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific. It'll be probably an hour and a half-ish start window of, like, just babbles and records before I actually get going. But thank you for hanging out for this shorter stream. Normally, it's the weekend streams that are shorter. The Monday streams are generally the long ones, but had to swap it up today. Courtesy of doctors. I'm going to send you guys over to a teammate of mine who I don't ever get to stream because normally I stream longer than she does. And Twitch just told me something about